Living for the family, that is what Cyan's father always said. What he meant was that you should not hope for anything at all, just live like a shadow beside your brother. After a long, desperate run, in the end Cyan still collapsed, gasping for breath. The moment he stopped, hostile footsteps approached, truly a priceless scene. Cyan clenched his jaw tightly to hear what else the man might say. Boris cast his eyes over the knights, holding full vigilance, and concluded, a knight fighting alone against the strongest commanders of the continent. Even the ground was littered with trophies from Cyan. He stood leisurely in front of him and concluded, that man's younger brother is different, truly interesting. Hearing the opponent call his full name, Cyan Vert, he did not hesitate to respond back, Boris. Being named, the man grinned mischievously. Cyan was provoked by this act, immediately channeled magic into his hand to rush forward and question, who instigated you? He gripped Karam tightly in his hand, decisively spoke out the answer he had always suspected, the king. Boris, witnessing such powerful skill for the first time, raised his hand to shield his face, that disgusting dark mist, so the rumors were true. The moment Cyan fully revealed his power was also when the man's words were confirmed, you are the assassin of mist. Your mist organization is like fog to us Knights of Light. I will report to my superiors that I destroyed the abomination who dared ally with heretics. Having been exposed, Cyan no longer cared to be polite. Fine, just try it. Even if I give you a month after this battle, I guarantee you will not have a single tooth left to complain. Although Boris was straining to defend himself, he still spoke stiffly. If you intend to use your secret power, you had better give it up. There is a 9-star magical barrier here. This answer made Cyan's heart draw up a new temporary plan. I must find a way to get out of here, and reveal the culprit behind to my brother. And the way to achieve that besides attacking is only attacking. Barrier, I will tear it into 100 pieces. Right at that moment a familiar voice interrupted. Enough, Cyan. Just a moment ago Boris was arrogant. Now he was tame as a quail welcoming Ashel stepping forward. The figure exactly like his brother in memory left him stunned, forgetting the unfinished path. Cyan looked at the man, and in his mind, the chant echoed. Living for the family. That is what my father always said. Your brother Ashel is the representative of this family. The success of Ashel Vert is also the success of Cyan Vert. He forced his eyes wide open to help himself confirm the thought in his heart. The culprit behind was. The closer the man came, the more Cyan's mind had only the name tied to his life for so long. Ashel. He collapsed in despair onto the cracked ground. Yet the man still calmly opened his mouth to ask, it seems you are confused because I appeared here. The two brothers silently observed each other at very close distance. Cyan could not bear it and raised his head to question, this, what does it mean? Ashel did not answer directly but chose to circle around. Cyan, you have performed your duty very well already, for the family, for the people and also. When the 3 words with me too came from his mouth, in his eyes the shock could no longer be hidden. Meanwhile Ashel kept nagging, so what he wanted was for you to shed that burden. It took Cyan a long while to find his voice again. I don't understand. Have I done something wrong? The man squinted and repeated the last question. Done something wrong? That terrifying mist. You are nothing more or less than an assassin. I can no longer regard you as human. Ashel raised himself to a height of morality and shouted with all his might. You have deceived everyone for so long, and yet you still haven't recognized your sin. These accusations inadvertently helped Cyan clear his suffocated mind. An assassin, my sin. His expression changed, and he immediately silently spat out one sentence from the bottom of his heart. What nonsense is he talking? Cyan's memories began to rotate through important milestones, from the succession war in the kingdom, to the raid by the Demon King's army, and finally the war to unify the continent. Cyan slammed his hand on the road in indignation and roared in silence. I helped you achieve everything, only because I was born to obey you. He hugged a belly of regret to unleash more mist, and yet now you abandon me. I have worked like an ox for 20 years because of you. At this moment Cyan's brain had only one determination left. Even if this body is exhausted, it will not matter. His eyes flickered with flames of anger reflecting his burning inner self. I will devote all my strength. The space was shrouded in blood red as Cyan screamed inwardly, just so I can destroy you. The knights behind Ashel saw this and the formation panicked. He still has so much magic. Impossible. This is no longer a human. Karam, always silent, now resonating with Cyan's mood, had to speak. How foolish. The hero is trying to kill his own brother out of fear. Aren't you ashamed? This blunt slap to the face made Ashel so furious that veins bulged on his forehead. And Cyan was still using all his speed to charge in for a decisive life or death. He threw a smoke screen with a superficial direct strike, then continued to circle behind the man. In Cyan's gloomy mind he murmured without stopping, just once. He glanced at Ashel's back and silently lowered to the sole target. One time is enough. The more he thought, the faster Cyan accelerated the turn. Finally he leapt high and brought the sword Karam down straight. If he could stab the weak point of him, making him unable to recover. But at the decisive moment a mishap occurred midway. Suddenly restrained by a ring of golden light, so Cyan had to look for the mastermind. Damn it, Boris. He helplessly felt the pain in his abdomen, while the curse just slipped from his throat. The lowly bastard. Karam left Cyan's hand. Ashel kicked his younger brother off the blade without a shred of mercy. Then he turned his back and ordered the subordinate beside him. Let's go. Boris, who stood closest, bowed in standard salute. Yes, my lord. When only Cyan was left lying there, his mind had only one curse. Damn it. He could not lift his heavy eyelids and felt even more unwilling. Is this my end? Have I lived a foolish life? With pupils gradually losing their light, Cyan quietly blamed himself. Idiot. The image of Ashel's back somehow rushed into his mind. He carried all kinds of fury to launch a direct attack. Even Cyan's features twisted abnormally because of that hatred. Indeed, this time Karam succeeded in touching Ashel's neck without any hindrance. But at the crucial moment Cyan was again blown away by that damn light. He panicked and sat up, clutching his neck, when a voice urged by his ear, Young Master Cyan. Emily at this moment cared nothing about rank or status, glaring with wide eyes and open mouth at the master. How long do you plan to sleep? Get up quickly. You must prepare, young master. Cyan had just woken from passing by the gates of hell, so his voice rose sharp. Emily, why are you here? The question just left his mouth and halted with doubt. Cyan carefully observed the other, then silently judged. It has been nearly 20 years since I last saw her. She looks exactly the same as the last meeting. While Emily confusedly exclaimed, What are you saying? Have you not woken up yet? He ignored the question and continued to look around. I remember this place. It is the room I lived in when I was a child. The decorations here are still the same. At this moment Cyan regained reason and raised his hand to feel his face. Wait, I have returned to being a child. That unusual action accidentally exhausted Emily's patience. Young Master Cyan. She leaned close to his face and spoke what she believed to be the truth. You are dragging time so you don't have to train right. Wake up and go. Cyan stared blankly, repeating the key word. Train. The whole room now echoed only with his astonished question. Train for what? The Vert Duchy was a castle complex located in the most favorable position. Cyan looked toward the high dome, and finally his heart accepted reality. I have surely returned to the past. Yet he still did not dare believe this assumption. Could this be just the film passing before my eyes before death? Cyan stood before familiar faces and tried to recall memories. I remember, 20 years ago, year 985 of the founding, March 1st, 1 year after I entered the academy. Each year the duchy held a dual training event. Cyan's father, the master of this duchy, Duke Vert, also joined the event, making it a grand event. His opponent was Grants Vert, the same age as Cyan, a brother of the same father but different mother. His mother, Margaret Erzeth, was the Duke's wife. Thanks to that, Grants received much attention, although both were the youngest children in the family. Cyan judged himself a spoiled child. After being mocked in this duel, he became everyone's laughingstock. At that time Willius directly expressed disappointment. Don't try anything. This duel was also the reason father stopped caring about Cyan. Emily saw him still absent-minded and leaned to whisper, "Maybe you should surrender." Cyan drew his sword and boldly replied, "It's fine, I just need to win." Yet inside he could not suppress a sigh. "Ha, even the maid despises me." But when preparing to step on stage, he suddenly halted. While Emily was cheering earnestly, "Don't get hurt, young master." In his heart Cyan carried another worry. "Just a sword? Why is it so heavy? My strength is still the same as back then." This feeling, not a dream, nor a pre-death vision. I have never heard of any spell that can cause such a strong hallucination. Though his whole body was icy, Cyan still had to swallow and admit, "Have I really returned to the past?" Grants folded his arms facing him and taunted, "You are not running away." He did not answer, but with hope swelling looked around everywhere. "So can I change the future?" Catching the gaze from Willius's son, he raised his hand to signal, "Begin." Grants waited only for that and immediately surged forward, bloodthirsty to compete. "Where are you looking, you fool?" He swung his sword high and grinned, full of confidence. Watching the whole process, Cyan could not help but sneer inwardly. What is this? Is he a snail or something so slow? Thinking that, he shifted his foot a little to the side. This move made Grants, who was on a roll, stare wide-eyed as if his chain had snapped. The consequence was he missed his first attack. Ashamed, angered, Grants hissed at once, "Dodge, you coward." Cyan gave him no chance to recover and raised his sword to counter. After knocking Grants's weapon away, he calmly added a kick to the shin. He hurt so badly sweat poured from his head and his features went chaotic. Grants threw aside all image and clutched his leg, rolling on the ground. This sharp turn left Willius agape, and Margaret forgot her rank and shouted. Looking at the quivering opponent before him, Cyan thought maliciously, "Now I only need to point the sword at his throat, and this duel will end." He tightened the sword in his hand, trying to restrain the bloodthirsty instinct within, but it was not enough. When young Grants always bullied him, pulling him out as a plaything. Even when I went to school it was the same. Cyan decided to torment his opponent for longer, so he must trample him, to make him not dare do that to me again. While planning, he did not forget to raise his foot, imitating Grants's move. "In this life, I will draw my own path." He took this extra kick and opened his mouth, crying loudly. The result was Grants lost the match in the most humiliating way. The Duke ordered Cyan to visit him, and also let him rest. He could not help but wonder, was my victory that impressive? He was even escorted by the High Knight Yulkin, the Duke's right hand. Margaret personally came out to see the one who left her favored son bedridden. Cyan could not help feeling elated inside. It seemed she was about to talk about her son. Ha ha! She looked as if she had just stepped on dog poop. Even when asking after him, she could not hide a smile at the corner of her mouth. "Is Grants all right, madam?" Margaret, blinded by anger, blurted out a vicious remark. "Beating your brother into that state, and you dare ask that? You really are shameless." Cyan felt no pain or itch, so even as he passed by he added one more line, "Duels must be like this, see you." Yet she persistently dealt fresh wounds, so scum like you should not be treated like a child of the house. Margaret poured all malice into her words, like mother like child. "It's all because of your filthy mother. You should be begging at the market stalls, and yet you dare cause trouble. You should be grateful." At this moment a burning thought suddenly rose in Cyan's mind. "She has gone too far. Should I kill her?" The thought that had just risen was immediately denied by Cyan. "Should I kill her? Not yet. More than anyone, I know best how to torment her. I will let her slowly feel the pain." He calmly tilted his head and asked back, "Madam, you know I will attend the academy with Grants, right?" Margaret warily exclaimed, "What do you mean?" Cyan waited only for that and revealed his dark self. "Surely you want your son to graduate intact, right? I suppose you are not that worried for your son, are you, madam?" She was struck in the black heart, so she clenched her jaw and hissed, "You!" Margaret, furious and losing reason, suddenly made a swinging motion. "You insolent thing, how dare you!" Just as Cyan had calculated, Yulkin stepped forward to block this irrational action. "Sorry, madam. The Duke has summoned the young master for urgent business." I do not think we can delay any longer. He disregarded Margaret's expressive face, shot a meaningful look and coldly announced, "We must leave immediately." No matter how arrogant she was, she had to grit her teeth and swallow this anger. Cyan, having achieved his goal, was thrilled and covered his mouth to snicker. The Duke's orders are supreme, and I am being protected by the knight who received that order. A knight who does not even yield to the Duke's wife. A kind and trustworthy man. After the knock-knock on the door, a steady voice from inside sounded, "Come in." He approached the tall back of Willius and introduced formally, the youngest scion of the Vert family. "I request audience, Father." When bowing he silently added inside, "It has been nearly 15 years since we last met alone like this." He tilted his head and briefly replied, "Sit." Duke Willius Vert is the great lord of Velias, a territory in the west of the Ushif kingdom. The world also calls him by another name, Guardian of the Continent. The hero who once halted the demon invasion, with terrifying magic and wise intellect. This man bore responsibilities that no one forced upon him, until his last breath in the battle against the Demon King's army. What he sought was peace for the entire continent. But Cyan's memory of him was different. A man who volunteered, used his whole life to serve others, a fool. Willius could not read his mind, so he seriously got to the main point. Your eyes followed and avoided the blade precisely. Cyan was stunned and murmured in doubt. He did not hesitate to patiently repeat that scene. The moment Grants charged in, you looked straight at the swinging sword's path, and turned to evade the strike. After circling for a while, Willius asked the core point he cared about. Since when did you learn to hold a sword? Cyan's heart could not hide praise, still as sharp as ever. But outwardly he widened his eyes and said brazenly, "Not exactly learning, I practiced by myself every night." He heard that and immediately pushed back. "As I recall, you had no interest in swordsmanship. Why did you hide your ability?" He bowed his head, feigning embarrassment. "Actually, I did not want to draw attention." Willius did not give up probing. Even so, you truly did your best to defeat Grants." The opening sounded pleasant, yet the following but made Cyan startle. It turned out he wanted to question the bonus kick. "Wasn't what you did afterward redundant?" His mind instantly raised a high guard wall. "So Father asked to probe me. He is trying to grasp my ability." Cyan chose his words and gave a half-true half-false answer. "I wanted to prove myself." The reply made Willius even more puzzled. "Prove? Prove what?" He pretended to burst with childish competitiveness and declared, "Prove I am better than Grants. Although he and I share the same blood, it is also the meaning of the duel I drew." Although he had prepared the act thoroughly, the moment he met his father's eyes, Cyan still froze. Fortunately, this answer struck Willius's inner spot. "Well done. The clear, accurate answer shows your class. I did not expect you to be so talented. I am very pleased. One day you will surely become Ashel's right hand." He was smiling as he said that, but upon hearing it, Cyan's heart fell into an ice pit. "What? Why must I become his aide?" As always, he still only thought of Ashel. He clenched his fists tightly, trying to suppress his rage. Willius did not notice anything unusual and still went on endlessly. "This is not a trophy, but I want to grant it to you for the match just now. If you want anything, just say it." Cyan patiently listened while secretly finalizing the plan for his new life. "Then I will destroy everything. Everything that bastard Ashel wants to do." He carefully adjusted his facial muscles before opening his mouth. "The thing I want?" Cyan had just returned to the small den when he was faced with Emily's seething anger. "What? You want to go to the battlefield?" He vaguely dealt with her ambiguously. "Yes, nothing is certain yet." But even that much made her explode with fury. "Crazy? Have you lost your mind? Do you even know what that place is?" Emily held her face, exaggerating the lurking danger on purpose. "Full of it. Terrifying monsters and demons. Velias, the western territory of the kingdom of Ushif. This is the only place on the continent called the battlefield. However, within this territory, only the Valley of Lemia is the front line. It is a brutal arena, where the war with demons has raged for hundreds of years. Therefore, Cyan's father, who had insisted on opposing from the start, had set a condition. He must prove himself worthy of going to the Valley of Lemia within 1 month. At that moment Cyan looked down at his hand wondering, not knowing on what he would base his judgment. During that time his physical strength must be reinforced. Compared to his peers he was still weaker. Unless he was lucky enough to retain the combat instinct before regression. Cyan felt the thin mist in his hand as he steeled himself to calculate. Besides the meager mana he sensed inside, if he trained his body, with his ability he would surely make good use of it. Perfect. He had to start training from today. Lost in thought, he was suddenly interrupted by a loud shout. "Cyan!" He sat on the bed spraying glue and looked at the person who burst through the door. After regaining his senses, Cyan immediately called the other's name. "Alice!" She said nothing and rushed forward to grab his collar and lift him up. Emily was a beat late, so her greeting sounded awkward. "Are you well, Lady Alice?" While she was busy thrashing her younger brother. "Are you insane? I heard you asked father to let you go to the battlefield, didn't you?" Against her overwhelming strength, Cyan could only weakly plead, "Alice, let me down first." She decisively dropped him and voiced her suspicion. "Seems you defeated Grants, so now you're arrogant, right?" He lay sprawled on the floor, helplessly denying, "That's not true." Alice ignored everything and decisively commanded, "Come with me to the ramparts at once." She made the demand without caring it was already the 3rd watch when roosters crow. When the two had settled, Alice eagerly proposed, "Once we draw swords we begin. If you can withstand my attack for 3 minutes, I will let you go to war." Cyan dejectedly confirmed with a sigh, "Do we really have to go this far, Alice?" She instantly switched to serious mode. "I don't care, just answer me one thing. What are you aiming for?" Alice narrowed her eyes, stressing each word, "The title of this family." His heart suddenly understood, so that's why she had to do this. "I don't even have the slightest interest in it." Alice took his silence as admission and continued to press, "So that's it, draw your sword." Cyan obediently drew his sword while filled with gloom. He had only rested half a day after the fight with Grants, so tired, the whole day was a mess. As soon as she saw this move, Alice accelerated and charged. He had no hope, but suddenly opened his eyes wider than headlights. At the very moment she closed and Cyan raised his sword to block. Alice's brain instantly rang alarm bells. Impossible. The boy never learned the sword, he's only 10 years old. Yet even as he blocked he had to grit his teeth and curse inwardly. Are you really using your full strength against a younger brother 7 years younger? The two quickly separated, ending the first exchange. Alice's heart could not stop trembling along with her hand. The blade of the willow sword was very strong, yet the boy still blocked her greatsword. Or maybe this time it was luck. She reassured herself, then forced a grin. "Your instincts are better than I thought, dear Cyan." He smelled danger, so inwardly muttered, "I'm doomed," but outwardly still tried to call his sister's name, Alice. She gave him no time to negotiate. Carrying her competitiveness, she attacked relentlessly. Alice escalated this duel to the highest level, raising her sword overhead. Cyan fell into a passive state and had to strain himself to block each strike, slash after slash. The two sharp weapons clashed and sent out sparks. At that very moment both Alice and he found an opening in each other. She could not believe it when she saw Cyan's willow sword had slid close to her neck. Cyan faced the relentless frequency of attacks and had to silently curse, "Damn it." He clenched his teeth and twisted the arm holding his sword outward to break the deadlock. As expected, after the clash the Cyan siblings split into 2 directions. He chose for himself a foothold on the precarious steps of the wall. Cyan crouched there, panting while running calculations in his head. That strike could have been truly dangerous. If I had not turned the sword to adjust its direction at that moment, I would have killed her. The swordsmen of mist. The thick mist mostly contains many skills aimed at vital points used for instant assassination. It is very difficult to fight without striking the opponent's weak points, since my own strength is currently quite weak. How much time is left in those 3 minutes? The trembling arm somewhat reflected Cyan's unwilling heart. I am compensating for my weak strength by wrapping the sword with magic, but I am reaching my limit. While they were still cautiously watching each other, Alice suddenly muttered, "Earth, wind, water, come and strengthen my sword." Cyan instantly raised his head with a bold suspicion. Sixth rank magic. As if to confirm that doubt, Alice quickly fused the water sword. He looked at this scene and cried inside, "Is she trying to kill me? I thought this was just a test of strength." While she was expanding her aura and swearing, "Cannot lose," Cyan also had to hold his breath tightly. "It is over. I can already see the killing intent just by looking into her eyes." Even while in a defensive stance, he could already imagine the outcome for himself. "I will leave the wall even if I do not take this move. I can only believe that will happen right after this." Thinking so, Cyan pushed strength into his legs to leave the dangerous sitting position. This time he decided to take the initiative to attack first. Cyan's limbs moved by instinct while his mind kept turning. "Please." The killing intent from Alice almost made him falter. "Please, someone stop this fight." As expected, the name Yulkin appeared in Cyan's mind. He immediately appeared like a god and shouted, "Stop." Yulkin lifted him up with his left hand, while his right hand blocked Alice's attack. The blazing clash lit up the castle roof in the dark night. He furrowed his brows tightly, showing dissatisfaction. "Miss Alice, you are being too harsh with an opponent much younger than yourself." Cyan sighed in relief, comforting his frightened heart. "I had wondered when he would appear, but fortunately in time." After regaining her reason, Alice startled in shock. She hugged her younger brother tightly and apologized repeatedly. "I am sorry, Cyan, I must have lost my mind for a moment. I just wanted to stop you from going to the battlefield. I am too obsessed with that, so." He smiled and let her cry loudly on his shoulder. This is very much like her. She always tries too hard with everything. Cyan's sister was once an excellent student among the excellent students, having achieved S in all subjects in the Royal Academy, where all talented children gathered, if they had gifts in swordsmanship, magic, or other academic disciplines. Above all, Alice's beauty was astonishing, so people called her the child of God. From a young age, she was trained in swordsmanship strictly. Alice was mentioned as the future guardian of the continent along with the eldest son, Ashelvert. But not long after joining the Order of the Light Knights, she was murdered. Cyan held Alice tightly, whispering from the bottom of his heart, "I miss you so much, Alice. This time I will protect you." His overly emotional reaction made her a little surprised. "Cyan." When the emotional moment passed, Alice noticed the unfamiliar person beside. "Ah, come to think of it, are you not the guardian knight of the Count? But the Count has already gone to the battlefield." Yulkin broke into cold sweat and responded vaguely, "I am under orders from the Count to protect the young master for a while, although I could not tell you because I must keep it secret." In the place where no one could see, Cyan secretly revealed his schemes. "I had felt his presence since I left the Count's office. Would he have appeared if this battle had not taken place?" Even though his eyelids were clashing harshly, he still forced himself to ask the question deep down. "But why, father? Could it be that Yulkin was secretly protecting me?" Alice suddenly felt all the weight pressing down on her. She heard the steady breathing by her ear and then faintly smiled. Under the shimmering starry sky, Alice helplessly concluded, "He is still like a child." The next day, she returned to the academy. Clearly, Alice came back here only a little to meet her father before the graduation ceremony. Cyan held on to that doubt as he strained to count his push-ups. 9. Cyan felt he needed to become stronger, so he had focused and truly gained strength in the past 2 weeks. But when the number 10 was uttered, he could hardly swallow it. Indeed, the gap between theory and practice was what made Cyan collapse. But 10 push-ups was his limit. He had been stuck at this limit for 2 weeks already. He had once been quite confident in his strength in his previous life. He wept silently when thinking of his bulging, muscular body from before. "I want to return to the way I was. I need a solution to enhance my physical strength." At that moment, Emily suddenly spoke up to interrupt. "Young master, a package has been sent from Lady Alice." Cyan excitedly turned back and immediately asked, "Really?" But the moment she opened the gift, she pinched her nose and groaned. "What is this? The smell is so disgusting." He felt guilty and explained only in his heart, not daring to say out loud. It is a bit of hellhound blood that I had asked her to get for me. It is a rare item that can only be found in the Lemia Valley. But I guess the rumor that it appeared on the black market is true. Cyan calmly poured this out while his mind was still immersed in a sea of knowledge. The blood of the demonic beast is considered a poison because of its terrible stench, as well as the burning sensation when using it. But, in fact, it will permanently increase the mana and strength of the user. The first time, many think this is just a false rumor. But I know it is true from my past life experience. Emily was shocked to see the act of raising the bowl of blood. Young master, do you really intend to drink it? Cyan softly hummed and then added a comforting thought in his heart. Don't worry, Emily. I am the only one who can adapt to your cooking after all. I still remember the first time. It was wild mushroom soup, wasn't it? My heart stopped beating the moment I bit the first piece of that. Compared to that soup, this... Cyan drained it all in one go and put the bowl down with a clatter. He was drenched in sweat, but still boldly declared, "It is delicious." Then Cyan suddenly stood up and called out, "Emily." She flusteredly replied yes at once. He curled his lips in a smile and instructed, "I will take a walk." In fact, my mood was already restless. Now let's see if it works. Cyan thus followed the mountain path, running swiftly in one stretch. When he reached the spot with the full view of the castle, he finally stopped. It had been some time since I last came here. I had been waiting for this moment for the past 2 weeks. A private moment where Yulkin did not follow me here because of reporting regularly to father. He kept trailing me annoyingly. I used to come here whenever I wanted to be alone. Cyan marked the area and began searching by memory. One day Ashel received the revelation of the god of light Lumendel. It was said that an ancient temple was hidden somewhere in these mountains. He had not completely believed it, but there truly was a place where the flow of mana was concentrated. It seemed like it was around here. Of course, the revelation of the god had arrived. Cyan, full of excitement, hurriedly released the mist. So only I know about this for now. The terrifying power from him caused the ground to gradually crack. Cyan grinned ear to ear, satisfied with his grand plan. Ashel, I guess you could never imagine what I am doing right now. It seems like it is right here. He stared firmly at the endless staircase leading down into the earth and resolutely shouted, "Let's go." Cyan carefully observed the surroundings, completely different from the last time I was here. This place is the ancient temple worshipping the god of light Lumendel, until the history of this land was erased, because of the war between god and demon that took place 300 years ago. Looking at the desolate scene before him, he suddenly sighed. Who could have imagined? This place existed right on the mountain behind the castle. The glowing sword floating high above quickly drew Cyan's attention. I see it. The owner of this castle. Time rewinds to the past. The year 999 before the founding on August 12th. At last humanity also succeeded in driving the Demon King's army out of Velias. The Demon King's army was many times stronger than humans. But mankind had found the ancient relic called the Weapon of God, helping them achieve victory. One of those relics during the Ark is the Holy Sword carrying the power of the god of light Lumendel. This sword was perhaps the main reason humanity was able to defeat the demons. And Cyan will also die a tragic death in the future under this very sword, the one possessed by Ashel Vert. He raised his head, intently examining every small detail. It seemed Duran D. Ark was related to my regression. Cyan raised his hand, lightly touching the sword. He closed his eyes, focusing his mind to feel. As expected, nothing happened at all. The lack of gain irritated Cyan. He kicked hard at Duran D. Ark. He lost all patience, bluntly ridiculing. Totally ruined my mood. Holy sword, my ass, done here, let's go. Once stepping through the light, a strange shadow would appear. Cyan focused all his gaze straight ahead. I see it. At a glance, one would think this was the shadow of a sword. But it was not. There was no shadow at all. Where there is light, there must be darkness. This was the passage leading to another room. A secret path hidden beneath the shrine of light. He hid behind the door, carefully observing the movements. With just one glance, Cyan immediately recognized. Here he is. He firmly gripped Karam, my sword. Cyan's pupils gleamed as he drew his weapon, demon sword Karam. The gem on the sword glowed with a dangerous red. Holding that familiar thing in his hand made his blood boil. Good morning, Karam. Yet it seemed things were not going smoothly. You still haven't awakened. This familiar feeling is the best. Suddenly I feel like slashing something badly. The soul of the demon sword suddenly rose up from the ground. Kid, aren't you afraid? Don't you know awakening me has consequences? Cyan put on an indifferent face, not caring at all. Don't know how that means this sword is mine now, right? Karam grew louder, her savage voice echoing, awakening the slumbering demon sword. It is already too late for regret, kid. With that she rushed straight toward the target. Your body now belongs to me. Unexpectedly he caught her easily with just one hand. Cyan even had time to recall the past with a sigh. Before you weren't in such a hurry. Karam broke into a cold sweat full of fear. What are you? How could you touch me? His pupils suddenly flashed with a deadly gleam. I already said this sword is mine. She would not yield easily, raising sharp claws preparing to attack. Karam swiftly swung her hand to strike. Begone. She took that chance to widen the distance between them. Karam's whole body burned with killing intent, filled with doubt. Who are you? Could it be you are the successor? Why do I sense the aura of Eru coming from you? Cyan went along with it, frankly admitting, that's right, I am the successor of Eru. Your master has returned now, kneel demon sword Karam. That arrogance completely enraged her. You are just a brat. Karam darted forward, unleashing a flurry of slashes. I do not accept. He clenched his teeth, skillfully dodging while calculating inside. Probably useless to talk further. The ultimate goal of the demon sword is to seize the body of the sword wielder. I have no other choice. Must compromise a bit. The corner of Cyan's lips curved into a perfect arc as he used the technique. Subjugate demon sword. The clash between the two erupted fiercely. He looked down from above, trying reasoning. I will only say this once. Why don't you accept me as master while I am still being nice? But Karam was not one to compromise, charging again. How do you have that technique, arrogant brat? Cyan calmly stood tall, chanting, subjugate demon sword. His mouth did not even pause, murmuring continuously, subjugate demon sword, subjugate demon sword. Seeing the opponent's head buried into the ground, Cyan finally stopped. Now what? Karam had no choice but to yield. I accept you. He was still not satisfied, preparing to chant again, subjugate. She trembled in fear, hurriedly yielding. Master. Cyan completed his task, inwardly sighing in relief. Now I have finished what needed to be done. Let's go back, I've been away too long. Karam, gripped in his hand, tried to savor it. It's been so long since I breathed fresh air. She turned into a ball of smoke flying around, so refreshing. Hey master, what is your name? He was intently observing above, answering casually, Cyan Vert. Karam cast a doubtful look. Cyan never heard that name. Did Eru really choose a brat like you? He slightly furrowed his brow, firmly confirming. Yes, from my previous life. She grew vague hearing that. Previous life? What nonsense are you saying? Cyan did not hide anything, revealing the truth. I already died once. Karam immediately fell silent in utter shock. What? She brushed aside that matter, turning her gaze toward the other figure. He is still asleep, huh? He had long engraved every important milestone in his mind. He still has to wait for the master another 20 years. Karam, half doubting, half testing, taunted. You talk as if you know the future. Cyan decisively struck, cutting off the hilt of that sword. She had no time to recover, utterly chilled by the act. What are you doing? He held the spoils of war in his hand, smiling deathly. Who knows, maybe this will make the future more interesting. The sky had already turned color. The carriage quickly left that house. The wheels rolled non-stop, raising clouds of dust. Shortly after, it steadily stopped at the designated place. Cyan stepped down from the carriage, looking around silently, sighing, I can't believe this day has finally come. Time truly flies fast. He walked toward that man and respectfully bowed. Greetings, Duke. Willius stood against the sunlight, his gloomy expression clearly visible. I ask you one last time. Are you determined to charge into the battlefield? If you wish to withdraw, I will not stop you. Cyan slightly raised his head, showing eyes full of determination. Yes, father, my heart already belongs to the battlefield. Receiving the answer, he immediately turned and ordered his subordinate, "Open it." Yulkin of course understood and clasped his hands to receive the order. "Yes, my lord." He carried a rolled-up paper and walked away solemnly. With just a glance, Cyan recognized it right away, his heart confused. A magic scroll? Are they trying to summon something? Without wasting time, Yulkin raised it. The red symbols instantly shone brightly. A gigantic beast appeared towering. It revealed sharp claws with sparks of lightning flashing by. Seeing that fierce appearance, Cyan's mind automatically ran through its name. Hellhound, a low-rank monster from the Lemia Valley. Father and his knights had prepared this test with effort. At the same time, the soldiers also made small movements. He immediately noticed and slightly glanced back to Scout. They will charge in if things become dangerous. Willius stood with arms crossed, calmly revealed the condition. You must take responsibility for your own actions, so prove your ability by overcoming this trial. Yulkin furrowed his brows, sinking into thought. A trial. Old memories suddenly rushed back in his mind. Cold sweat ran down his face, filled with doubt. Did the young master just say he wanted to duel me? Cyan calmly used the most persuasive reasoning to guide. Only 3 days left until I must fulfill my promise to father. I cannot just keep swinging my sword into the air forever, right? I must learn real combat too. Please help me. Yulkin avoided his gaze, a bit troubled. This duel at your age, young master grants will. Cyan feigned innocence with wide eyes, recounting the situation. I don't know why, but every time he sees me, he runs away. The image of Grants turning his back without hesitation seemed to appear before me. Don't come near me. His face turned darker than the bottom of a pot, but he only dared to curse silently inside. Truly troublesome. After a few seconds of hesitation, Yulkin finally gave the answer the other was hoping for. If you want, then fine. In return, I will only use the scabbard to fight you. I will focus on defense, you attack with all your strength. Cyan achieved his goal and his mood brightened. Thank you, Yulkin. I still have one more favor to ask. From now on, no matter what happens, don't tell father anything. This is an order. He was slightly doubtful but said no more. Cyan wasted no time, his eyes flashing as he charged forward. Yulkin kept his promise, focusing only on defense. Just in the first strike, he felt something unusual. The sword is heavy. Unbelievable that this is the sword of a 10-year-old child. He kept striking non-stop, just trying to push his opponent into a corner. The overwhelming power made Yulkin break into cold sweat. He's too fast. At that very moment, Cyan suddenly vanished from sight. It turned out he had flown straight up above the head. Since when? He of course realized immediately and turned back sharply. Thanks to agility, Yulkin could barely block the strike. At this time, he again unleashed continuous slashes. Cyan's eyes glowed red, showing death clearly. Every blow came with all his strength. After the fierce clash, he finally let go. Few indeed, I still cannot defeat you, good Yulkin. Thank you for helping me. He was already breathing hard, almost reaching his limit. Well done, young master. Inside could not help but sigh. Unexpected that young master Cyan weak has progressed so far. If my intuition is correct, now young master can already overcome his trial. The Hellhound did not let the enemy have time to prepare and rushed forward. Cyan here gripped the sword tightly, still standing still. It's coming. The beast opened its wide mouth, showing sharp, fierce teeth, its eyes filled with bloodlust suppressed for long. He swiftly turned his body, dodging the strong ram. Cyan's pupils suddenly flashed, brain calculating the attack plan. With my strength now, this monster is not beyond me. Must finish this battle as fast as possible. I will end it with this strike only. He raised the sword across his body, ready. The Hellhound, not knowing, took the slash completely. He struck the sword down hard, then took momentum, soaring high. All the witnesses felt chills, mouth agape in shock. Willius slightly curled lips, hiding his attitude. Cyan looked at the result, he made, regretting. Too wasteful. This blood should be a few bottles. If I do this here, they will think I am crazy. At least should bring a cup. Clapping from Willius echoed at the same time. Well done, Cyan. See you on the battlefield. He gained recognition, then respectfully bowed. Thank you, father. Kiram then dared to appear speaking dissatisfaction. Master, do you see me as a fruit knife or what? Cyan, as if not seeing the anger, showed innocent face. Of course not, you are a demon sword, so why ask that? She blood boiling, clenched teeth, cursing. Then use me, damn it. Must absorb blood to become stronger. Please let me drink just a sip. Just when Kiram was about to rush, she was called back by him. Don't worry, because soon I will use you for real matters. Just wait. She restless, all over angry to the point, eyes sparking. Should have awakened me at that time, not awaken me so early. Willius only needed a glance to recognize that monster. It was the Orge from the northwest. Form a defensive line, then destroy them for me. Do not let any survive. Begin the monster blocking campaign. At this moment in the sky suddenly appeared a huge magic circle. More and more of them shone brightly beneath the feet of the Orge. From that circle suddenly shot out countless chains binding them tightly. Willius only waited for that, raised his sword to launch the sweeping campaign attack. The knights followed the order, charging like a storm. One by one they unleashed splendid slashes down on the Orge. They were extremely serious, pouring all their strength into the assault. The monsters, sensing danger, struggled even more fiercely. The knight gripped his weapon tightly, cold eyes fixed on the target. They again unleashed continuous slashes, aiming to bring down the Orge as quickly as possible. Two people, Emily standing far away watching, were frightened. Oh my! Young master, why do you want to come to such a place? Are you not afraid? Cyan, while enjoying the familiar feeling, remembered to answer. Coming back here makes me nostalgic. This place is still like hell. Willius, after finishing, stepped over to ask about the situation. Cyan, how do you feel at the front line? He dared not tell the truth and found the most reasonable excuse. I am just a little nervous. He pulled the reins tightly and seriously instructed. You see, the battlefield is also a death ground. You never know when you will die, so never let your guard down. Cyan put on a polite smile, firmly affirming. Yes, I will remember, father. In his heart, of course, he understood better than anyone. At the front line, such situations are completely normal. In a day there may be 3 or 4 battles. Each battle has its own detailed strategy, with the capable high-ranking knights as the core, to handle all monsters trying to break through the front line. Sunset was gradually falling on their camp. Cyan hid behind the canvas, observing around. The position of his tent was the rearmost area, also the safest. Guards were always watching closely like this. Even Kiram had no chance to drink blood. Really must wait until dinner time. He glanced back, accidentally seeing that trembling figure. What are you doing, Emily? She curled herself tightly like a cocoon, her face extremely pale. Did not the Duke say, we never know when we might die, so I am afraid. Cyan did not expect such a reason. His face showed a trace of helplessness. Ha, unbelievable. So you plan to pack up and return home? Emily, angered, shouted furiously. Do you think we could even return? When will you be able to stand on your own without me here? Monsters are everywhere. If I run, who will take care of you, young master? Let's go, it's almost time to eat. He looked at her furious appearance, suddenly remembering another matter. Emily, what about the cloak I asked you? But the reply was only dead silence. Cyan was so angry the corner of his lips twitched, trying to suppress his feelings. Should I dismiss her? Is this the way she treats her young master? Time quickly passed. He placed the doll with hair like his own on the bed, carefully covering it with a blanket. Looking at the result, he carefully evaluated. Should be fine. Emily's sleepy voice suddenly came. In this place you still plan to go out to train? Cyan was startled but quickly calmed down. Did I wake you? She rubbed her sleepy eyes, trying to see clearly around. You are diligent indeed. If the Duke knows, he will surely be proud. He did not care much about that, quickly pulled his hood up. Ah, I am going now, you just do your usual work. I am still sleeping, remember. Emily, still not awake, answered perfunctorily. Yes. Cyan had already observed the situation outside. Because this was the front line, the soldiers' night shifts were often reinforced, and they guarded quite strictly. So if I do not leave the camp at this time, it will be hard to act freely. His whole body glowed red when using the power. Thick mist, third move, mist descent. In his head, rewinding time, searching memory. If I remember correctly, There are a lot of monsters here. A perfect place to use Karam for blood absorption. Cyan's eyes flashed with death as he summoned, right Karam. She heard the call, excited appeared. The smell of blood is too strong. Master, I don't think I can restrain myself anymore. Hurry, let me cut something. The monsters, unaware they were about to die, just rushed in. Cyan, filled with killing intent, charged straight. All right, Karam, I will follow your wish. Countless slashes hitting weak points were unleashed. His pupils dyed red with the color around. Each move released killed the hellhounds. Storm's sword missed. No one knew how much time had passed. Cyan stabbed the hollow wooden tube into the neck of the trophy. The stream of fresh hot red liquid flowed straight into the cup in his hand. Cyan immediately raised it to his lips to taste. One man, one sword quickly sank into pleasure. Here you go. After awakening, this is the first time I feel such ecstasy. Both excited, enjoying without knowing the bloodthirsty gazes from behind aiming at them. Good, let us keep training like this. You see, killing these bugs, how long will it take to grow stronger? He slightly turned his head, glancing behind. Do not worry, the night is still long. Many monsters left. Karam glowed with dangerous red, waiting. Oh, too excited. At the same time, the carriage of Aaron was crossing the gloomy mountain. Luna felt uneasy, immediately wanted to advise. I still think the front line is too dangerous. Let us return, princess. Aaron did not look inside, but fixed her gaze on the scenery outside. I already said, do not treat me like a child. I am the princess of this kingdom. I have the responsibility to help father the king. How many times must I say it? If you mention it again, I will be really angry. Luna, hearing the long speech, dared not say more. Yes, princess. Ah, that reminds me. There is news that the youngest son of the Vert family also went to battle. He should be around your age. She was clearly drawn by the news, her face darkened noticeably. He brought his youngest son with him. She did not notice the abnormality and kept talking. The Duke did not intend to bring him. It was the young master who proposed himself. The two of you are the same age, try to get acquainted. Aaron quickly turned her head away, trying to hide her attitude. As if I care about such trivial matters. Forget it, I need to sleep now. Luna, once more not knowing what mistake she made, timidly bowed. Yes. After a few seconds of silence, she suddenly probed for more information about that person. What is his name? Falling into her strong point, she answered clearly. Ah, it is Cyan. I am quite sure his name is Cyan Vert. Aaron's attitude suddenly sank as she recalled that name, Cyan. Her beautiful face under the moonlight showed clearly, as if calculating something. Cyan Vert. Harpy screamed loudly from being repeatedly struck by sharp sword beams. Willius spared no more time on the unit's condition, checking if anyone was injured. Good news came back from somewhere below. Everyone is fine, sir. Willius breathed a sigh of relief, then continued to order. Very well, return at once. The man immediately obeyed. Yes, sir. Willius suddenly turned his head, looking around as if searching for something. Not far away, the corpse of a harpy was pinned to the ground by an armored boot. Cyan firmly sheathed his sword, still dripping fresh blood, his cold, indifferent eyes staring at the corpse on the ground. At his ear suddenly came Willius's voice, carrying some inquiry. How were you able to adjust to survive in this very first battle? He raised his hand respectfully in salute, at the same time cautiously explained, I always learn something new every day, father, whether you believe it or not. He casually raised doubt. Is that all? I thought you wanted to quickly return to the family. You have endured here for quite some time already. Father is very proud of what you have accomplished on this battlefield. Hearing this, Cyan was shocked, unable to believe his ears. What? He is proud of me. Willius did not continue with more words and had to return to busy duties. Tomorrow I have something to tell you. Come to my tent early in the morning. Cyan, still dazed. Father had never treated him so kindly before, not even in his past life. Hearing so, he only responded mechanically, Yes, father. Night had already covered the Lemia Valley. The entire sky seemed obscured by a thick curtain. In some area, a death worm twisted its body, piercing the ground into fragments. Cyan's shining armored boots pressed hard against the ground, trying to keep himself steady against the impact. Even so, his body was still pushed far backward. Cyan stared at the troublesome monster and muttered softly, "A death worm? They usually only appear deep inside the valley." Karam took the chance to recommend herself. "Master, it seems you are in trouble. Please switch places with me. Let me possess you to fight. I swear it will only take a moment, and I will return control to you." But he was not so foolish to agree. "Switch places with you? Do you think I do not know what you want?" While master and sword exchanged words, the skin of the death worm bulged with fresh flesh covering the smoking wounds. Karam urgently wanted to prove her usefulness. "You see, it immediately regenerates its wounds. Continuing to attack will only be useless." Cyan bit his lips, caught in hesitation. "It is true. If I keep going it will not work. It has been a month since I came to the front line. I have drunk the blood of countless monsters, but it is still not enough." Seeing the death worm already healed and opening its jaws to bite, he had no choice but to accept her. "Very well. I agree to switch places with you, no matter what you are planning." "Karam," she shouted in excitement, "fine then, let's move forward." Cyan entered battle mode with his ultimate skill, Ninth Mist Awakening, Demonic Sword Eruption. He charged toward the monster with fierce momentum. "I will tear apart your thick skin." As the vow resounded, slice after slice carved across the deathworm's body with an eerily ghostly speed. Cyan's whole figure seemed to hang suspended before the moon. The blazing red soul fire proved that his battle spirit had reached its peak. The mist sword technique, 8 Blossom Slash, cut a straight line piercing through the deathworm's vital point. Its jagged jaw full of serrated teeth was cleaved in two. Sticky blood dripped down every fang. Karam merged with Cyan's body, the whole figure ignited with crimson bloodlust. Elsewhere, a hand reached out to test the breath of the corpse lying on the ground. "Hellhound, this thing has been dead for quite a while." Yulkin keenly sensed the energy lingering around. "The amount of residual magic here seems immense. Perhaps a demon did this." Willius quickly came up with a countermeasure. "We cannot take this matter lightly. If it is related to the nobility, immediately search the area and destroy these things." The soldiers shouted loudly in response. "Yes, sir." Yet there was still a doubt he had not voiced. "This slash looks very familiar." Willius's gaze split into two extremes, half suspicious and half uncertain. "Perhaps I am mistaken." At that moment, Yulkin's report sounded from behind. "Sir, you should see this." He glanced at the object his subordinate wanted to present with a doubtful look. "This is..." He supplied the missing half of the answer. "Yes, it is a death worm." Willius whispered in horror. Who could have turned it into this? Could it be that organization? Meanwhile, Cyan, the true death worm slayer, was lost in memory. Demonic sword embodiment. It allowed Karam to control his body and unleash its full power. Yet he could still regain control if she let her guard down in battle. That is why he allowed her to take control when facing monsters. Cyan sat up, clutching his hair to endure the aftermath of trauma. "I drank all the monster's blood after defeating it. My strength has grown a little. If this were a month ago, I would not have endured. Yet the pain still lingers as a reminder of the consequences. My body hurts so much." At this moment Karam's sudden voice sounded in his ear. "I understand now," making him glance over in suspicion. She analyzed on her own from a series of earlier clues. "You may look like a boy on the outside, but you do not speak or act like one. When fighting with me you move swiftly and skillfully. You are also very familiar with the geography of Lemia Valley. Your swordsmanship is as if you had trained for at least 30 years. Karam immediately gave a savage smile and sealed it with the final proof. "Moreover, you said you had once died, right? I am certain now." She happily exposed the greatest secret of his life. "You were reincarnated, right?" But Cyan's overly calm attitude only left her disappointed. "I already said I once died. It is already too obvious." His reaction beyond her expectation ignited a fire in Karam's heart. "Obvious how? You did not explain it to me." But Cyan deliberately ignored. "I am too lazy." She gritted her teeth in frustration and continued to speculate. "Anyway, killing someone like you is not easy, I guess. You were killed by the one who possessed Durand Arc. There are two possibilities. You were killed in a duel, or you were betrayed." Karam smiled proudly and judged. I feel it is most likely the second. Cyan was a little curious about the reason behind that. Why do you think so? She also straightforwardly explained. You despise the holy sword very much. Therefore I guess you have no good feelings for it. So your purpose is revenge. Whatever way it may be, always remember. If I learn that you fail or lose heart, I will devour you. Cyan grew annoyed and slammed Karam to the ground. Devour me? I am not stupid enough to let you do that. She lay sprawled among the messy objects, physical impact making her head ache and swell. So she could not see the hidden smile spreading on Cyan's lips. It still did not change, still kept the same personality as in his previous life. The surrounding scene suddenly turned into the noisy crowd of the military area. Small Cyan blended into the crowd, quietly glancing. What is happening? It seems everything is in chaos. Emily suddenly rushed over, calling, Young master, you are awake. Seeing this, Cyan quickly asked, Emily, what is happening? She anxiously recounted the tense situation outside. Yes, suddenly the corpse of a high-level monster was found, lying at the entrance of the valley. He furrowed his brow tightly, trying to guess. She said that worm. The panic and fear on Emily's face really could not be hidden. It had been a long time since such a monster last appeared near the camp. Cyan continued to press for more clues. Anything else? The slightly strange attitude of the young master left her unable to react in time. Yes. Cyan impatiently fired off questions one after another. Besides that, is there anything else, like a suspicious person or something about me? At this moment, Yulkin suddenly appeared with an announcement. Young Master Cyan, the Duke wants to see you right now. The matters coming down all at once made Cyan begin to feel restless. Damn it. I cannot deal with the huge corpse of that monster right now. Because the patrol soldiers suddenly appeared. My plan to enjoy life before entering the academy. Cyan dawdled and stalled, but at last the time came to meet Willius. Father, I am here, deep inside silently praying. Father will not realize it was me who did it. He stood there and called, Come here, Cyan. These words made the anxiety in him surge endlessly. If he asks about yesterday. Willius half closed his eyes, looking at his son. Sit down. Cyan was crushed by the heavy atmosphere, sweat soaking his black hair. How should I explain this? In the brightly lit hall, where the lamps shone directly upon the expressions of father and son, Willius laid his cards on the table. I will speak plainly. What did you do last night? Cyan feigned fear and repeated the rehearsed answer. I went to bed early because I was too tired. In truth, this excuse was not enough to erase the deep-rooted suspicion in Willius's mind. Went to bed early. But those sword cuts, that was clearly Cyan's swordsmanship. Yet those innocent eyes made him hesitate. Have I overthought this? Cyan nervously ventured a question. Why does father ask that? That frail appearance struck straight into Willius's heart. It was difficult to believe that such a child could have dealt with a death worm. Moreover, seeing his expression gradually soften, Cyan seized the chance to show concern. Father, is there something troubling you? Willius did not conceal it. Surely you have heard about what happened near the camp last night. I still need to investigate, but it seems there are traces of activity from the secret assassin organization, the Mist. The boy repeated the key point, the Mist. Wishing to nurture him, Willius revealed all the information he had. That organization has existed since ancient times. No one knows their true purpose. But they assassinated countless nobles under the name of purging. Wherever they went there was always a distinctive black mist. Then one day, they vanished completely. Willius recalled every clue he knew about them. The last time they were active was 300 years ago. Yet last night's death worm was shrouded in a black mist. The black mist is the trace left by the god Eru, the god of darkness, the god revered by the Mist organization, and the source of their power. If my assumption is correct, then that death worm was killed by them and the monsters. This masterful deduction left Cyan shaken. Incredible. Just from an object father could guess who was behind this, even though that organization was last seen 300 years ago. Concerned for his youngest son's safety, Willius sternly instructed, We do not know why they have reappeared, but you must be careful. I will report this to the king and investigate further. The boy nodded obediently in reply. Yes, father. Cyan had passed one trial, feeling as though a heavy weight had been lifted. Perhaps father really does believe me. He had nearly set aside his doubts about Cyan, and linking him to such an organization was absurd, especially since he was still just a child. Then concluded with a single line, "That is all." Willius let the matter rest and began to chat. And who was it you said would be visiting today? Cyan recounted what he knew. I heard the king would be visiting, though it should have been today. The man leaned slightly closer with a hint of request. I also want to ask you for a favor. The boy eagerly accepted the responsibility about to be given. What is it? The content of their talk remained a secret between father and son, but now came the moment when all could hear the cry. The king has arrived. Willius bowed his head respectfully and introduced himself. Your servant, Lord of Velias, greets your majesty. Dione Severus, upon noticing his presence, warmly greeted him. Velias. He cast aside all royal formalities, hurriedly dismounted his horse, and approached his counterpart. Dione Severus, brimming with excitement, clasped the hand of his dearest friend. We have been lifelong companions. Do not trouble yourself with such etiquette. Willius hesitantly replied, But your majesty? His gaze then fell upon the small figure standing beside him. Oh, so this is the child. Cyan skillfully performed a respectful bow. It is my honor, your majesty. I am Cyan Vert, the youngest member of the Vert family. Dione Severus was quick to shower him with praise. So young yet already out on the battlefield. Your children truly are extraordinary. The boy stood there blankly, his expression weary and lifeless. I wonder what father truly wanted me to do. Who would have thought he simply wanted me to introduce myself? In my past life, I always had to hide indoors whenever the king arrived, no matter how much I wished otherwise. Wow, look Emily, it is the king. But she could only helplessly restrain me. Come inside, young master. Now within my heart I thought, to be trusted by father like this is truly moving. Unexpectedly, Dione Severus shared the same thought as Willius. Splendid. I too wish to introduce someone. At his words, a figure slowly descended from the carriage. Erin stepped forward and coolly introduced herself. This is the 5th princess of the Ushif kingdom, Erin Severus. Upon seeing that familiar face, Cyan could not help but feel sorrow at the memory of his past life. Erin Severus, the tragic 5th princess. Willius's solemn instruction still echoed in his ears. I need you to escort Princess Erin on that day. At first the boy was dumbfounded, unable to understand. What? How? Fearing Cyan might feel burdened, Willius reassured him. There is no need to worry. You simply have to stay close to her. She is about your age. When you enter the academy you will meet her again. A few fleeting images surged through his mind. I also remember having met her in my past life, several times in some classes, at the academy. Though Willius spoke gently, befriending a member of royalty does no harm. It will not last long, but I want you to grow close. Still, Cyan carried a weight in his heart. I do not want this at all, but I understand father's intent. Perhaps he wishes me to form a bond like his own with the king. Yet the thought of a relationship with Erin was like a bone stuck in his throat, choking him. But father has chosen the wrong person. She cannot be my friend, even though I cannot say the reason, for it is a future only I know. Truly unpleasant, but I will pretend to obey. A doubtful voice from beside him drew his glance. Erin's crimson eyes gazed into the distance with a curious question. Why does that river run red? Cyan tried to respond. You mean the river of blood? She whispered back the strange new name she had just learned. River of blood. The boy's vast knowledge had the chance to shine. This stream runs throughout the Lemia Valley. There is no complicated reason why the river is red. Old monsters or those gravely wounded and unable to survive would instinctively leap into the river of blood. Their bodies then decomposed within its flow. The mana transformed the river into crimson. She asked Cyan again in horror. So it is truly made of flesh and blood. He firmly replied, That's right. They even drink from it and bathe in it. So it is disgusting. Never go near that river. Erin's face turned as pale as her hair from fear. Terrible. Then what lies at the end of the river? She quickly received her answer. The demon realm. Another strange term she had never heard. The demon realm, the place where demons live. Cyan grinned slyly as he teased, "That's right, if you follow that river you might even meet the Demon King." Though he joked, he knew well, no one would ever be foolish enough to do such a thing. It was just to frighten her a little. Suddenly a strange light shone from above, pouring down over Cyan's group and startling them to look upward. Erin looked as though she was about to transform into 10,000 whys. "What is that light?" While he was the walking answer book. "That is the signal from the third plantation in the west." "Yellow, the signal that demonic beasts have appeared." Another question burst forth from her. "Are there monsters here?" Willius swiftly formed a protective formation. "Guard the king, knights and scouts. Follow me to the third plantation in the west." Unexpectedly Dione Severus intervened. "Do not do that, Willius," throwing him into great confusion. "Your Majesty." It turned out the king's battle-hungry spirit had suddenly ignited. "Do you think I came here for sightseeing? I am terribly bored." Though reluctant, Willius could not refuse. "Yes, Your Majesty." Dione Severus turned and commanded the soldiers. "We will join the assault against the demons. Kill them all." They responded with one voice. "Yes, Your Majesty." Willius did not forget to remind his youngest son. "You will also take part, Cyan." The boy boldly shouted in reply, "Yes, father." Erin stood nearby curiously asking, "Can you fight against the demonic beasts?" Cyan had nothing to hide. "Yes, but only support from the back. You should go to a safe place." Before he could even finish, the other side had already declared firmly, "Take me with you." His head was filled with huge question marks. What did this girl just say? Luckily her subordinates quickly spoke up. "But princess," yet Erin stubbornly insisted on her own. "You said you were the same age as me, so I want to go too." Cyan coldly warned the girl in front of him. "It is deadly. This is not a place to play." She pretended not to hear and demanded all the more. "I don't care. I want to go. No one can stop me." His patience was gradually reaching the limit, so he called out the gatekeeper, Yulkin. He suddenly appeared looming behind Erin. "Yes, young master, Yulkin, royal knight, will escort the princess to safety." No matter how she pouted and sulked, Yulkin could only fulfill his duty. "Let's go, princess." Erin angrily pointed at him and scolded, "Traitor, how dare you treat the princess so rudely?" Her spoiled attitude truly made Cyan furious. "Many knights may die just because of your stubbornness. Even one foolish moment decides life and death on the battlefield. Can you dare take responsibility for those lives?" Erin, struck by his fierce tone, pressed her lips together as her eyes brimmed with tears. But here no one cared about a crybaby. He coldly walked away, leaving only a message. "Go back and cry quietly, princess." She could only stand still, her eyes fixed on the fluttering corner of Cyan's cloak. Somewhere else in the Lemia Valley, the brave group of warriors risked their lives fighting the giant snail charge. The sword carrying Willius's firm resolve was raised high to the sky. "Form the ranks, protect the king, and kill all of them. Do not spare a single demon." The group of warriors, as if injected with burning blood, fiercely gripped their weapons and launched the attack. Dione Severus, king of the Ushif kingdom, had 2 wives. Diana Quisel was the first wife, but she had already passed away. Cassandra Nepolis was the concubine, considered the powerful judge of the kingdom. The former queen had given birth to the first and second princesses, while the current queen was the mother of the third and fourth princes. However, Erin Severus, the 5th princess, was the daughter of lowly origin, with a mother who was a commoner. She was treated like a puppet princess because of her foreign blood. But she never cared about the eyes of others. She always fulfilled her duties as a member of the royal family, always studying more diligently than anyone else. Yet she was branded a traitor by the jealous. Then she was exiled by the royal family and the kingdom. Rumors spread that the princess had died in loneliness of an illness on an island. Therefore, people called her the tragic princess. She should have lived a happy life if not for greed. A person like her living without ambition would be better. This made Karam startled, his eyes wide with doubt. "Wasn't it in your past life that your father always told you the same thing?" In contrast, Cyan remained calm, even while fighting fiercely. "Different, Politics in the royal family was always like that. From the sky, many bolts of lightning continuously struck down the giant snail. Watching each one collapse on the ground, Cyan was even more amazed by this majestic scene. The king was truly a remarkable man. Lightning struck down, shattering earth and rock. Dione strained with all his might, ceaselessly wielding holy lightning. As he thrust his sword into the thick ground, the giant snails were also struck and spun about by the holy lightning. Seeing them lying motionless, Cyan could not hide his excitement. Emperor Dione was famous as an 8th-rank mage. If he had not ascended the throne, he would have become the head of the Mage Association. A mid-rank monster was nothing to him. Perhaps being king was just his hobby. After the battle ended, Dione calmly enjoyed his wine feast. It has been a long time since we drank together, Willius. He savored the cup of wine in his hand while speaking in melancholy. When drinking alone, I feel a bit lonely, unlike Willius, who showed no change of expression. Forgive me, Your Majesty. I do not allow myself to drink on the battlefield. Immersed in the wine, Dione suddenly sobered and looked at his counterpart. About the matter you asked me concerning the situation in the kingdom. Recently, there have been many assassinations of nobles. This is worrisome. This also made Willius's face show some severity. Do these assassinations have something in common? He slowly confirmed, yes. In his eyes flickered a cold gloom. All the slain nobles were corrupt officials. He did not hesitate to probe further. Moreover, the black mist appeared everywhere at the scenes. What do you think? Only to see Willius grow pensive. He carried a tone full of caution and meticulous analysis. Yesterday I found their traces here. It seems those cultist assassins of the Black Mist sect have begun to move again. The decisive reasoning pleased Dione greatly. Reasonable. But you must investigate thoroughly. Thank you for handling that pile of trash. But I cannot just sit idly by while they live in constant fear. At the same time, he revealed hesitation. There is another matter that troubles me. This made Willius confused as well. What is it? Dione gripped his cup tightly, unhesitatingly continuing, those damned nobles are chattering, blaming the 5th princess. Even Willius was shocked. You mean they are deliberately pinning those cases on Princess Erin? Thinking of his daughter, Dione's distress was clear. I have denied those rumors to silence them. But it seems some faction wants to exploit the girl. I want to ask you something as a friend, not as a king. If I should pass before you, take care of the girl. Faced with such a noble responsibility, Willius quickly bowed. I, Willius Vert, obey, Your Majesty. Those words relieved him somewhat. Thank you. Outside the war camp, the rain poured down endlessly. Emily spoke with overflowing disappointment. Is that all? Even Cyan was surprised at her expression. What else were you expecting? In Emily's attitude, suspicion was clear as she continuously pressed. She is a princess, and you only escorted her here. She even grew agitated in judgment. At this rate you will never get married. Cyan could only feel helpless at her look. I did not even go on a date. He quickly headed toward the tent door. Before leaving, he did not forget to remind, while I am away, all the work is left to you. On the contrary, Emily was extremely concerned about the weather. You are going to train again. It is raining heavily. Seeing the other's unease, Cyan firmly assured, don't worry, and don't stay up waiting for me. Outside a figure appeared. In his surprise, Emily startled and shouted loudly, Who is that? The other slowly pulled down the hood, slowly asked, Where are you going? Before both of their horrified gazes, Erin did not hesitate to plead, Sorry, but if not busy, could you talk with me for a while? After seeing the face clearly, Emily was overjoyed. Her whole body became excited and cried out, Princess. The guards at this moment were stationed outside the tent. Erin glanced around and asked, How long have you been here? Cyan quickly admitted, About 1 month. He looked straight at her without hesitation and questioned, Why did you come to meet me? As soon as Erin heard, her whole body stiffened. Seeing the satisfaction on Emily's face, she also became somewhat embarrassed. Give us a little private talk. She kept staring. Even he decisively suggested, Go outside, Emily. Before leaving, she gave a meaningful smile that left both of them bewildered. Fine, wish you two happy. Soon the space returned to silence. Only Cyan carried a helpless sigh in secret. Happy with a 10-year-old kid? No, I am 40 already. Erin forced herself to speak. Her small face already blushed. Sorry for earlier. I feel I did not act according to my role as a princess. Even Cyan became visibly flustered. You don't need to worry. I am sorry too for being rude. Erin, though shy, could not help but laugh. No, if I were you, I would say the same. You are recognized by so many, unlike me. Moreover, you are far more mature. Cyan seemed to see through her after that smile. So she has such a personality. After circling around, Erin openly and frankly asked, by the way, you also intend to enter the academy, right? Or, before finishing her sentence, on Cyan's face killing intent was revealed. Sorry, he directly declared, but I don't think I can help you. This was beyond her expectation and she froze. Cyan reminded without hesitation, if you came to make friends, then please leave. This made Erin hesitate for a long while. I just want us to have a good relationship. You are so difficult. On her face even the joy disappeared, replaced by broken helplessness. Or do you also think I am nothing but the shell of a princess? Cyan said nothing, only silently observed. Despite tears streaming down, Erin still smiled painfully. I understand. Surely being friends with me brings you no benefit. Sorry for wasting your time. Maybe I am blind. I thought at least we could talk together. But turns out you are completely different from Lord Ashel. Hearing that name, Cyan was astonished and turned sharply. What? She just said. Then immediately grabbed her wrist. Under that strength, Erin's arm gradually trembled. What do you want? But in return was Cyan's cold gaze. Ashel, no, how do you know my brother? Facing the pressure, she struggled desperately. Last year, while walking around the Royal Academy, I met him. He advised me not to care about others' thoughts. Just focus on being a princess. Hearing this, he showed brief astonishment. Advised my foot. I know that demon bastard's nature better than anyone. From the moment she met him, everything was already arranged. The plan to overthrow Princess Erin. Thinking this, he tensely looked at Erin. I warn you. But before saying more, both were startled by a strange sound. Emily suddenly rushed into the tent shouting, "Young master!" On her face even clear panic. Please run. The tent was quickly smashed, making both him and Erin pale. The ogre used a large tree to strike, causing Emily to be flung far away as well. Seeing the tent collapse in an instant, the others became flustered. Damn it. It is the young master's tent. Hurry, check if the young master is in danger. Even Emily was shocked, speechless, only watching the ogre destroy everything. She could not even hold back tears. Seeing the ogre preparing to attack the tent again, Emily cried out helplessly, "Young master!" Emily witnessed the terrifying scene and screamed miserably. She was helpless with tears in her eyes. "Young master!" A sharp voice suddenly rang out. "What?" Dione Severus with a tense face. "What did you say?" Alex hurriedly reported the situation. "The high-level monsters just ambushed the camp at the border area. I think the princess is there." Hearing his daughter was in danger, he immediately commanded, "All royal army, rush to the camp immediately. I must ensure the princess is safe." He quickly received the order. "Yes, your majesty." Dione Severus worried and puzzled. "The girl is at the camp. Who did she go to meet?" The atmosphere in the camp was thick with the smell of blood. The monsters lingering around made it even more horrifying. Cyan observed from afar death scorpions and also ogres. They only live in the deeper areas of the valley, but suddenly appeared here. Something must have changed. He questioned himself, is it my fault? Preoccupied with idle thoughts, he did not even hear Emily. "Young master, I thought you really left. From now on I will never leave you again." The previous scene suddenly replayed. A huge explosion shook everywhere. Cyan recalled the glorious days and clicked his tongue. "Back then I even killed the Demon King. As if those ogres could kill me." Erin still had doubts in her heart. "Do you think the knights in the camp will be all right?" The young lady's gloom was comforted. "Princess, don't worry. The knights are very strong." She thought all mistakes were caused by her. If I had not come here, things would not have turned out like this. The knights who came with me all. Alex hurried over to reassure Erin. "We are fine, princess. Protecting you as knights of the kingdom is our duty. Andrian tried to lift her spirit. He is right, princess. We will use our lives to protect you. Suddenly his tense voice cut through. Move away. He had not even understood what then was gripped tightly by the monster before he could react. The ogre fiercely lifted Andrian before Erin's eyes. She was still in extreme fear when Cyan rushed over. Get back. It seemed the ogre saw its target fall right into the trap. That terrifying smile said it all. He gradually understood the intention. I knew it. It is aiming at me. I will distract the ogre. You take the princess to hide. Emily's urgent voice. All right. Knight, what are you waiting for? Let's go. Seeing her manner, Cyan was a bit annoyed. She really hurried off like that. But the ogre did not keep him waiting. Its deafening roar carried immense rage. With sword in hand, he resolutely charged forward. Each swift slash cut through the monster, making it cry out in pain. Cyan, while fighting, pondered, why am I attracting these high-level monsters? It feels like they sense something from me. A mysterious voice surrounded him. You have drunk the blood of countless monsters to become stronger. That is why you carry their scent. It would be strange if they did not target you. Cyan angrily looked at Karam. You knew this too. Why only tell me now? Her voice was full of demonic charm. Did you forget? What I want is your body. He no longer let Karam ramble and quickly grabbed her tail tightly. Cyan's footsteps swiftly glided across the sandy ground again. Karam, with an angry yet panicked tone, what are you doing? He once again cut her off. Shut up. Karam, being at a disadvantage, could only beg, treat me more gently. Now Cyan's power was even more unmatched. I don't care. How many monsters are targeting me? Under the piercing scream of the ogre, he leapt up, charging straight at it bravely. Severed the ogre's head in an instant. The difficult task neatly resolved. Cyan landed together with the fall of that ferocious monster, ending perfectly. His gaze was cold. Now no one is watching. Drink some high-level monster blood, like a feast. Suddenly something caught Cyan's attention. Wait, that is. Suddenly another monster approached. He had not even rested. The evil dragon stood tall before Cyan, demon dragon. It roared as if to prove its existence. Karam sneered mockingly. Not really, it is still young. Maybe it also smelled your scent. He now looked cunning. Why the dragon appeared here is not important. She finally achieved her wish to seize the body. Hey. Cyan now was full of bloodlust. What matters is I catch it. Karam tried to order him. You must capture it. No, you must eat it. On the other side, the ogre was suffering the consequence it caused, receiving each magical strike. Dione Severus looked at the monster lying on the ground. This is the last one, right, Willius? Willius respectfully before the king. Yes, it seems so. He slowly turned back. And the princess and your son? He still respectfully. From the tents, I did not see any trace. Dione Severus did not blame Willius. No matter. Surely you are very worried for your son. He immediately retorted without hesitation. What is there to worry about the boy? The most important is the princess. He was left speechless by Willius's reply. You are too cold. Is the boy not your own son? His tone calm but icy. The Vert family must know how to protect themselves. The cavalry returned to report. Your Majesty, we have found the princess. Dione Severus could not believe what he heard. Really? Erin, upon seeing him tearfully, ran over. Father, Dione Severus was equally delighted. Erin. He worriedly asked his daughter, are you hurt? But she was still concerned about something else. Hurry, father. We must save him. Dione Severus did not quite understand Erin. Save who? Her tears still at the corners of her eyes. Cyan, because of me he. Realizing the seriousness of the matter, he gently reassured his daughter. Calmly tell me. Willius was questioning Emily. You are Cyan's servant, aren't you? She respectfully before the Lord. Yes, it is me, my lord. His gaze flashed cold. Tell me, what happened to Cyan? Emily looked at Willius trembling. Too scared. I have never seen the Duke so frightening. Young master acted as bait to buy time for us to escape. The more he heard, the more anger flashed, perhaps because of the negligence in protecting their master. Alex beside urgently pleaded. I remember where he was then. Just give the order. I and the others will go save young master. Dione Severus behind urged, "What are you waiting for, Willius? Go." But only received two extremely firm words from Willius, "Unnecessary." The king was shocked at that statement. "Willius, are you serious?" He was absolutely certain of his decision. "I must resolve the situation first. If the camp collapses, the monsters will flood into the kingdom. I must rebuild this place immediately. This is the only way to prevent further casualties." Emily widened her eyes in astonishment. "What about young master?" Willius, with a stern face, resolutely declared, "He has fulfilled his duty by keeping the princess safe. The Vert family must be like that." Erin still blamed herself inside. Why? No. Her fragile soul, still because of me." The familiar echoing roar made Erin turn back. This roar. She tried to identify it, that sound. Erin once again encountered the demon dragon, a dragon. But this time, something else caught her attention above all. On the dragon's back faintly appeared the figure of a comrade. Seeing Cyan, Erin was even more shocked. Cyan? An impressive introduction with the image of black smoke, dragon. As the creature closest to the creator, they are noble beings that are hard to see even once in a lifetime. As the supreme species, a lowly being like humans can hardly approach them. While the evil dragon was extremely ferocious, the thoughts in Cyan's mind expressed annoyance. "It is truly an honor that now I can fight together with such a noble species. But why does it keep flying back and forth to places where I cannot see it?" A dragon flew over Erin's head when the blood moon appeared. She screamed loudly, her eyes about to burst into tears. "Cyan." Even Dione Severus felt surprised. "Unbelievable. That is a dragon. Villius, why is your son climbing onto that dragon? What are you still thinking? Why don't you save him?" Despite difficulties, Cyan still struggled to overcome. "Damn it, I really want to drink its syrup." Unexpected that such a thing would happen. The statement revealed the species of the purple dragon, an evil dragon. Karam controlled Cyan to do his bidding. "You must capture that dragon. No, you must eat it. All of you get lost. I am not free to entertain you." Cyan's attack technique cut the monsters into pieces while they were bewildered. Sword storm, storm of mist. He touched both feet to the ground to keep balance. It seemed the evil dragon was very angry, but Cyan still calmly speculated, "It is not an adult dragon. Its size shows that." It suddenly opened its mouth, inside containing a strange light that stunned him. Rocks flew chaotically as the source of energy was right in front of Cyan. The power of the evil dragon blew up a boulder not far away. Luckily, he dodged to the side in time, before it attacked violently. "Damn it, insolent dragon." Cyan's anger had reached its peak. The sword strike slashed out in bright red. "First time meeting, and you dare spit in my face. Then I will slash your face." The attack struck the evil dragon's eye, causing it pain. The evil dragon was so badly injured that ketchup flowed out. Under its pursuit, Cyan quickly leapt high. With the evil dragon's speed, catching up to him was normal. Clearly Cyan held no weapon in his hand, swordless. His technique specialized in dealing with large monsters, with only a small sword, 8 blossoms slash. Then, smoke and dust rose thick when it fell straight to the ground. Cyan worried for his own health. "I think I cannot ride it anymore. My shoulder is too sore." The evil dragon appeared amidst the thin smoke. He no longer hesitated. "Time is running out." It flew up from the ground, even though Cyan shouted to attract the evil dragon's attention. His eyes showed determination to fight to the end. "I will not fall into the trap a second time." It seemed Cyan had just discovered something. He was not happy at all. When the evil dragon panicked and fled, "That damn lizard," it disappeared. "Stop there, don't you dare run." Moments later, Cyan grabbed the evil dragon's neck. Caught it already, so lucky. He seemed a bit hesitant, but dared not say. "Then, how should I resolve this situation now?" Karam suddenly behind Cyan. "What is going on? Why don't you do anything?" He was always cautious in every action. "What do you mean? Don't you see the people below watching us?" For some reason Karam pressed her face close to Cyan, arguing. "So what? If you have chosen me, then you should do something," he shouted to defend his stance. "Do you want me to use the demon sword to kill everyone below? If they see what I do, they will burn me alive. She refused to yield to Cyan. So what? Are you going to cling to the dragon forever? Cyan did not know what to say to Karam. I am also thinking of a way, aren't I? The sword formation was used by Willius in dangerous situations. At this point he could not control his panicked expression. That is 8-star magic. Does he intend to use the secret divine sword, when knowing his son is about to be swept away? Father truly deserves the title, Guardian of the Continent, Father. The evil dragon staggered in the sky, because it could not avoid the many sword auras rushing toward it. By some miraculous way, it overcame every danger, making Cyan have to acknowledge its talent. Oh, that's right, truly my good dragon. Seeing the sword about to shoot toward them, he quickly reminded, avoid it now. I don't think you should dodge it this way. The sword tip shot as fast as wind, making the evil dragon suffer physical pain. While Cyan fell off its feet, the evil dragon continued flying high in the sky, leaving him behind in disappointment. Damn it, unbelievable. I lost the chance to enjoy a special meal already. Karam opened her mouth only to endlessly scold Cyan. What are you doing? Fly up. Do you want to kiss the ground? He only did what ensured his life's safety. No, if I use mist technique, I will be burned. As expected, she burst out right there. Then just fall and die. Cyan didn't want to make Karam mad. I don't know, maybe I should reconsider. It seemed he had found a solution to the problem. Cyan acted as he thought. In a blink already soared high into the sky. Wait, there is a way. Karam was not reassured at all. You don't want to kiss the ground, right? She hesitated before speaking. That is water. Cyan had no choice but to reluctantly use the trick. Then there is no other way. Something just sank down under the red lake, along with a resounding scream. No. The man was drawn by the scene outside. Amid the desolate space, Valkyrian happily enjoyed a memorable moment. An evil dragon flying around here. Truly a rare sight. Nothing could trouble Dominic's analytical ability. It is quite small. It seems it lost its prey due to trouble. Based on his knowledge, Valkyrian could only guess, maybe a rather strong beast, but he firmly stated, no, that is a human. He did not refute, but looked far away. A human? Impossible that an evil dragon would lose a human. Valkyrian could not speak, making Dominic suspicious. In fact, he wanted to confirm the fleeting thought. What is it? He was very sensitive to power in space. I feel there is a strange kind of energy there, though strange but also somewhat familiar. This matched Dominic's thought. Then check it. But please don't kill recklessly just because you are bored. Valkyrian's wings spread in the vast space. Fine, fine, I won't cause trouble. Only Dominic's back remained as he watched him fly away. Bubbles rose more and more on the lake surface. Because of holding his breath too long, Cyan had to come up for air. He tried to move to the shore, sitting with his back against a rock, but Cyan's head still spun. A few drops of water remained on his exhausted face. Cyan looked without strength to continue fighting. Damn it. He shouted loudly, though exhausted. Karam, are you still alive? Frustration showed clearly on Karam's face, along with a threat. Don't open your mouth to speak to me. I am thinking of a way to kill you. Even Cyan himself wanted to give up halfway. Don't be crazy. I must return there. She sighed once. So you really want to return? Of course Karam hoped he would not be reckless. Let's go together. This is the demon realm. Not only did Cyan ignore the sincere concern, but also boldly declared, no need to worry, no way to encounter a high-ranked demon in such a place. One foot stepped on the cliff. As expected, I knew fun was waiting for me. Cyan's quick reaction showed something unusual. I remember this voice. Valkyrian spoke with a cold tone. You. The expression on his face completely changed. This voice has always been engraved in my head. Until now, I have not forgotten it. He surely also did not expect to meet Cyan. You are a human. It was not hard for him to recognize the identity of the one standing in front, the Demon King, Valkyrian. Facing the overwhelming might of the Demon King Valkyrian, Cyan Vert could not help but tremble in fear, his whole body utterly shaken. In the past, everyone who had ever met him said that it felt as if they were staring at the embodiment of evil itself. He stood atop a mountain of corpses, facing Valkyrian alone, who was also the one standing right in front of him. He pointed the tip of the demon's sword Karam at him, tightly pressing his lips while thinking to himself, "Damn it. Why now?" Valkyrian seemed rather impatient. "I asked you if you were human. Why don't you answer me?" His pupils suddenly glowed bright red, his gaze as if it could strangle Cyan to death at once. He suddenly appeared behind him, his voice cold as ice. "You brat, are you trying to fight me?" Caught off guard, Cyan quickly turned his head back, gritting his teeth as he glared at Valkyrian. He swiftly swung his sword, but the other was even faster, retreating with a smug laugh. Suddenly, Valkyrian realized that one of his strands of hair had been sliced off by Cyan's demon sword and had fallen to the ground. He rubbed his nose with a chuckle. "I have heard that you humans possess limitless potential. You dare cut my hair. It seems that is true." The demon sword Karam curiously asked Cyan. This might be an inappropriate question now, but who is that? He immediately replied to her, "The Demon King." Hearing that, she was astonished. "The Demon King? With your current state, how do you plan to defeat him?" Cyan anxiously responded, "That is impossible. I can only try to escape." His sword hand trembled violently, but could he truly survive when his opponent was Valkyrian? Seeing his current reaction, Valkyrian spoke, startling him slightly. "Hey, relax a bit." He scratched his head and looked away. "What could I possibly do to a tiny kid like you? Calm yourself down." He even lay down on the ground, resting his head on his arm while laughing at Cyan. "Look, I will not do anything to you. Really, if you are that afraid, then I can talk to you while lying here. Even if I am a rogue, I would not fight a child." Cyan's body stiffened slightly, his eyes still full of vigilance. "Huh, why did he suddenly lie down?" Valkyrian grinned, revealing his fang. "Let me ask again, are you human?" Cyan lowered his eyes a bit and affirmed, "Yes." He asked again, "How did you get here?" He honestly answered, "By the flow of the river." Valkyrian pointed at him and asked, "So this is your first time in the demon realm?" He laughed with interest. "Your surrounding aura is a little strange." "Who are you?" Cyan cautiously looked back and replied, "Just an ordinary human." Valkyrian narrowed his eyes slightly, with some disbelief and scrutiny. "An ordinary human, but it seems you know who I am." He tried his best to keep his voice steady. "We have never met before." Valkyrian lay completely down, resting his head on his arm with his eyes closed. "That is true. This is also the first time I have ever seen a human. How could you possibly meet me before?" Seeing that, Cyan felt quite puzzled. That calm attitude, could he really be the Demon King he knew? To verify, he cautiously asked, "Why are you here?" Valkyrian raised his hand nonchalantly. "I sensed a strange energy while patrolling around." Hearing that, Cyan asked again, "Patrolling?" He arrogantly replied, then suddenly stiffened as he realized he had slipped. "That is right. As the Demon King, of course, I must watch over the domain I rule." Immediately after, he sat up, scratching his face. "Hey kid, what did I just say?" Cyan repeated his words. "As the Demon King, you must watch over the domain you rule." Valkyrian seemed slightly embarrassed, wearing a dissatisfied face while pointing at him. "Are you not surprised? I am the Demon King." He flailed his arms and legs, shouting like a child. "I know, you must have heard of me somewhere. What kind of kid could react like you? Did your mother never scare you, saying if you disobeyed the Demon King would take you away?" Such behavior made Cyan cover his face in doubt. There is no way this is the Demon King he once knew. He thought to himself, if everything happens like in my previous life, then the demon's invasion is about to break out. But this one does not seem like the type to do such a thing. In his mind now was Valkyrian's slightly goofy smiling face, if this was his true nature. Cyan seriously wondered, then what had made him change? He wanted to know the answer, so he made a test. "If you are truly the Demon King, then what is the wish that you want to fulfill?" Valkyrian curved his lips into a smile and replied, "You actually ask such a question to the Demon King. That is bold." He rubbed his nape. His tone sounded very sincere. "There is not much. I only want my people to eat well and live well." Suddenly, his eyes became vicious, his tone also colder. "But if there is anyone who dares to block my path, then I will kill all of them." His words made Cyan shiver. "That is the responsibility of me, the Demon King." He thought with some fear, only in one moment. But surely I felt it. The true ferocious face of Valkyrian that I once knew in my previous life. He pressed his lips tightly, telling himself, right now it is being restrained. But surely there was something that happened that made the chains binding this face of his be broken. I must prevent that event. Cyan gathered all his courage to make a proposal to Valkyrian, which made him reveal surprise. "Hey Demon King, do you want to make a deal with me?" He spoke seriously. "Soon there will be something that happens to you. It will threaten the people in your domain." Valkyrian frowned and looked at him. "What are you saying? I do not understand anything." Cyan used an honest tone to try to persuade him. "I do not know what that thing is, but I am certain that event will start, a war between humans and demons." Valkyrian stood with his arms crossed in front of him, gritted his teeth and asked again, "You mean that I will want to seize your land?" Cyan immediately affirmed, "That is why I want to negotiate with you." His eyes flashed with determination. "Promise me that no matter what happens, you also will not start a war." Valkyrian sighed. "What nonsense you are saying. Never mind. Fine, just take it that I will not start a war." He of course would not easily accept Cyan's proposal. "On the contrary, then what will you give me?" Cyan immediately replied, "I will help you." He placed his hand on his chest and pledged with honor, "Even if something happens to you, I also will try my best to help you." Valkyrian bent his body down, close to in front of his eyes. His gaze became sharp. "You?" His pupils glowed red again, carrying probing. "You know something?" Cyan did not dare to blink. Valkyrian curved his lips into an amused smile. "What is your name?" Cyan tried to calm himself and answered, "Cyan Vert." Valkyrian looked at his hand and laughed. "All right, Cyan Vert, with the role as the master of the demon realm, I promise you that no matter what happens I also will not invade your land." His wings suddenly spread out. He flew up into the sky and looked down at Cyan. "But you also should take responsibility for your own promise. After all, we already made a pact with each other." He looked up and nodded to confirm. Valkyrian narrowed his eyes. "Very good. Then the pact is considered complete." After making a pact with the Demon King, the night squad found Cyan. Dexter pointed forward. There." They saw him lying collapsed on the ground and hurriedly ran up. "Oh heavens, young Master Cyan, this truly is a miracle." The things after that Cyan could know only after waking up. The investigation team had very smoothly found me unconscious, and I had successfully returned. After that I got the nickname, the boy who survived under the claws of the evil dragon. We returned to a monastery at the border of Velias, being temporarily used by the army as a hospital. The next day, just after waking up, Cyan could not help but exclaim, "What?" Aaron came to visit and sat beside his sicket, hesitantly saying, "Let me repeat once more." Meanwhile he was absent-mindedly thinking, "I thought everything had already been peacefully resolved." Aaron's face turned red and looked quite flustered. "You will?" She pointed at herself and loudly asked, "You will become mine, right?" Cyan's face froze. What is she even saying? Cyan's face was cold as he decisively uttered one word, "No." Hearing that, Aaron immediately sank down in loss, her eyebrows drooping. Her red eyes quickly welled up. She spoke with a choked voice, "Of course, I am a useless princess after all." He leaned back against the bed frame, feeling a bit annoyed. This is really troublesome. I already know that she is useless. But that attitude makes her even worse. Clearly that is what will happen in the future. Thinking of this, the image of Ashel appeared again in Cyan's mind. But I cannot stop thinking. That bastard is related to her tragic end. He secretly made up his mind, and then opened his mouth. "You are right. You bring me no benefit at all, nor to anyone with your uselessness now. You have no influence or courtesy. If I become close to you, then I will even suffer disadvantages." But then his tone suddenly shifted. "Even so, I will continue to watch you from afar, until you completely develop yourself into a better person." Aaron lowered her head and softly repeated, "Watch me." Cyan folded his arms, trying to show he was very strict. "Yes, do not be disappointed because of that." Hearing that, she immediately restored the arrogant appearance of a princess. No, I understand. I just need to improve enough so that you acknowledge me. Right. Erin raised her finger pointing straight at him. Then she declared loudly, just wait. I do not know when, but I will become so strong that you cannot ignore me anymore. Hearing that, Cyan felt a bit helpless. I look forward to it. At the same time, he also sighed inwardly. She recovered her spirit quickly. After all, she is still just a child. At this moment, Erin, who was about to leave, suddenly stopped. One more thing. Thank you for still being alive. Really? Cyan sat on the bed silently, only watching her with his eyes. The scene changed to the edge of the forest behind the camp. Renaud was cautiously looking around in all directions. After making sure no one was around, he carefully took out a square block. Renaud looked at the faint purple energy being released and muttered softly, "Not much left." Before his words were finished, a voice rang out, cutting him off. "So it is you, Renaud Crimson." His first reaction was to run away, but he quickly realized something strange. His body did not move, as if invisible chains were binding him. And the voice that sounded like a soul-reaping demon continued to echo. A small space box. It seems the magical power around it has already spread. A relic that can create a dimension and has enough mana, with infinite capacity. It is the masterpiece of the Mage Association of the Kingdom of Garam, is it not? Cyan slowly stepped forward, his hand not forgetting to strengthen the controlling mist. I have observed it for an entire year, because I felt someone from the Empire was smuggling it. So that is how you did it. I will take this thing. He lowered his tone once more and called out the full name of the person before him. Renaud Crimson, 7-star Knight Mage of the Kingdom of Garam. The expression on his face was full of fear. You are. Renaud slowly uttered a name when he clearly saw the person standing before him, Cyan Vert. He cried out in shock, "Why are you here?" Cyan did not immediately answer but lowered his head to look at the remaining parts of the magical beast. He picked something up and carefully examined it. "I assume you extracted blood from the corpse of the magical beast and carried them in the supply wagons across the border. It is still fresh. It seems a spy helped you inside the supply department providing this box." Renaud immediately panicked and denied, "What the hell are you saying? I do not know anything." But that only made Cyan even more certain. No need to pretend ignorance. Their blood has already been sold on the black market. Recalling that foul-smelling vial of blood, he began to fall into contemplation. It seemed Alice had obtained the blood of the demon hound through him. So who was the traitor? Putting aside the freshness, they were too large to be consumed. Besides, I also cannot let him go. On the other side, Renaud was still struggling to break free from the restraint, finally managing to move one arm. Not knowing how he had restrained him, but he could gradually move now. He raised his hand, already invoking the spell Dragon Breath, and shouted with joy, "Die! If you let your guard down, you will only die, brat." A flame was immediately released, greedily devouring everything. When the energy gradually weakened, he gritted his teeth and cursed, "Damn it, lucky I'm not dead, so the rumor about it was true." Renaud, exhausted, leaned back in silence, staring at the flame before him. It was a long while before he finally let out a sigh. Losing such a precious space box. Never thought I would encounter this while transporting. At the moment Renaud felt he had finally escaped disaster, suddenly a flash of light cut off one of his hands. My hand. Renaud was utterly shocked at what he saw. What is this black smoke? He immediately thought of the answer when he saw a familiar figure walking out from the sea of flames. Impossible. Mass. A hand gripped tightly around Renaud's throat, cutting off every sound before it could escape. He brutally slammed him against the tree trunk behind and spoke with an icy voice, "Choose. Tell me the smuggling route and the spy's name, then die peacefully. Or die in such agony that even Satan would pity you." The scene now shifted to the exchange point west of Velia's. Amidst the noisy crowd, two men, Rocky, silently nodded at each other. Charles suddenly exclaimed when he saw there were quite a lot of goods this time. 2 crates, huh? Rocky was also very cheerful. "We'll get a little more this time." Charles continued checking the crate below. "And this crate, how much is it worth?" But as soon as they opened it, both of them were horrified to the point of screaming. Rocky stammered for a long time before he managed to call out a name, Lord Reynald. Charles could not believe his eyes. Who did this? All of their reactions were fully taken into Cyan's eyes from above. Karam, flying beside, was a little surprised. You don't plan to do anything to them? He nodded in reply. Yeah, a warning is enough. 7-star Mage Knight of the Garum Kingdom, Reynald Crimson. He had smuggled blood of magical beasts from the front lines behind the Ushif Empire. All the smuggled items were taken from the Mage Association of the Garum Kingdom. The Mage Association of the Garum Kingdom, a place where all magicians obsessed with magic gathered. They studied the origins and foundations of magic, as well as the art of creating new magic. They were an association aiming to surpass the limits of mankind. Currently, they were creating relics such as the space box. But in the future, they would make all sorts of insane things with magical beast blood. Karam looked at the person before her with suspicious eyes. You just changed profession from assassin to problem solver, huh? Cyan, while turning back, curtly cursed. Shut up. I need to prevent that. But she still did not bother to withdraw her astonishment. I thought you would live for yourself, but this is not even for you at all. Hearing that his expression remained calm. I just don't want any more people using magical beast blood. The scene shifted to the residential district within the Ushif Empire. Ashel stood by the window, quickly reading the letter in his hand. The more he read, the darker his expression became. Cyan Vert, go to the front lines with father. Elise, hearing that, curiously asked, Cyan Vert, oh, that half-blood younger brother of yours? Ashel replied with a voice full of contempt. Yeah, lately he seems a bit troublesome. I will need to go meet him. As soon as he dropped the heavy pile of luggage to the ground, Emily immediately cried out with joy. Finally, the terrible life at the front line is over. While she was immersed in happiness, so excited, the academy will of course be better than this awful front line. Right, she said, and Cyan answered dully. Yeah, and for me it will be the beginning of a new hell. According to what he remembered from his previous life, the academy was not what Emily expected. It was a place full of schemes and intertwined political interests, a place to make connections but rife with jealousy and envy, where building relationships mattered more than studying. She, however, knew nothing and carelessly imagined the future. I heard there are many handsome teachers at the academy. Oh my God, what should I do? Seeing that, Cyan felt puzzled. Why is she so excited? The fantasies did not stop when Emily mentioned romance. Maybe I'll meet a new love, she said, and Cyan could only think helplessly. Is she planning to go to the academy with me? A while later, when the train arrived, Cyan stepped down with his luggage. As he calmly toured the academy, he suddenly spotted Grants and a maid in the distance. Then Grants unexpectedly shouted, "Eek!" drawing Cyan's attention. Seeing him, Grants, like a mouse seeing a cat, unconsciously trembled and blurted out, Cyan, while Cyan did not bother to return the greeting. Oh, Grants, hi. As Cyan was still amiably saying the last word, nah, he ignored him and ran off screaming as if he had seen a ghost. Karam, having witnessed the farce, asked curiously, who is that idiot? He lightly waved his hand and answered, he's Grants, my half-brother, don't mind him. Noticing the awkwardness in Cyan's words, she immediately put on a mocking smile. Why are you so opposite with your relative, like when you met that man? He hurriedly denied and mumbled, no, not at all. Elise and I get along quite well. Even so, Cyan's gaze carried some thought when the discord was mentioned. The person completely opposite him was someone else. A few minutes later he found his mansion, and as he approached the door it was immediately opened and the servants all bowed and greeted in unison. Welcome back, young Master Cyan. Cyan watched the scene in bewilderment. Before they didn't even bother to glance at him. He deliberately ignored their actions and carried his luggage inside. Yet now they behaved politely, as if when father or that bastard arrived. When he reached his room door, Cyan breathed a sigh of admiration. Only 1 year and so much has changed. The effort was worth it. He touched the doorknob to enter and involuntarily shivered at the familiar sensation. I know this aura. High alert appeared in Cyan's eyes. The aura made him tremble so much. He slowly pushed the door open and stepped in. Thinking of Ashel's fake smile made his blood boil. Indeed, behind that door was that bastard. Upon meeting him, the man greeted warmly, "Long time no see, Cyan." And Cyan kept telling himself to stay calm. Receiving no reply and noting his strange expression, Ashel assumed, "Ah, you don't remember me." Cyan's mind darkened with the words "stay calm," while the man kept a smiling face spouting false concern. "Ah, it's understandable, because the last time I saw you was before I entered the academy." Finally, the thread of reason suddenly snapped and a bloodthirsty smile appeared. "How can I stay calm?" Taking advantage of the other's laxness, Cyan silently summoned Karam, intending to strike. "Now, I will kill." Just as his hand was about to touch the short sword, his wrist was quickly seized. She saw Cyan driven by anger and immediately opened her mouth to warn, "If you do not want your skull crushed, then sober up. Killing him will not gain you anything, right?" Fortunately, he had heard Karam's words during the outburst and managed to close his eyes and calm himself in time. Then he bowed and pretended to be respectful. "The youngest son of the Wirthaus, Cyan, greetings, eldest brother." Seeing that Ashel bowed his head and asked, "So you still remember me?" Remaining in that posture, Cyan gently replied to him, "Being a younger brother, how could I forget my own brother's face?" Ashel, hearing this, was pleased and ruffled his hair while he could only grit his teeth and endure. "I am very happy." He even spoke to Cyan with a fond look. "I was worried whether you would remember me, but what luck." Afterwards he looked out the window and uttered praise. "I heard your swordsmanship has improved a lot. One day, you will be able to assist House Wirt." "Ah no." Halfway through the sentence Ashel glanced toward him, revealing his true intention. "You will be able to assist me and rampage on the battlefield." With a murderous look, Cyan obediently replied, "Yes, I also very much look forward to that day, eldest brother." He noticed that strange look and fell silent for a moment. Then suspiciously glanced at him and continued, "Hearing you say that, I am relieved, because the only reason I came here was to see you." In Cyan's mind, he silently confirmed, he is the sort of person who will not look at another if he considers them useless to him. He drew that conclusion while playing the role of the obedient younger brother before Ashel. "Now that I have realized his intention, I become strangely calm and rational. I also wanted to see you again, eldest brother." Meanwhile, in the hall, Emily was angrily complaining at having to carry so many things. "Honestly, he does not have that much luggage. Must helping me carry them be so difficult?" Just as she reached Cyan's door, she breathed a heavy sigh, so tired. A moment later, seeing the door open, Emily immediately angrily demanded, "Young master, how could you leave alone like that?" But no sooner had she spoken than she cried out in alarm because Ashel stepped out. "Senior young master." Seeing Emily, he appeared friendly. "I heard you are very close to Cyan, and it seems the two of you are really close. Continue with your work." Despite the encouragement, she remained fearful and kept bowing in reply. "Oh my, yes, yes, sir." Then she let out a sigh of relief and turned to scold Cyan. "I thought I would die from the stress. Young master, if he was coming, you should have informed me beforehand." He did not care about that and simply made a request. "Emily, can you step outside for a bit?" Emily, feeling it sudden, began to complain. "What, but—" She was cut off by Cyan's terrifying look. "Do not make me repeat it a second time." She was frightened and only cried out in shock, "Young master." After entering the room, he immediately rushed into the bathroom and vomited violently. The nausea made Cyan dizzy and breathing in short gasps. After a while, he questioned Karam. "Why did you stop me?" She smugly countered, "Should you not first be thanking me?" With a pale face, Cyan opened his mouth to reply, "At that moment it was also an opportunity for you. The very instant I collapsed was the perfect chance for you to seize my body." Karam did not waver and directly denied his thought. "Do not be mistaken. I simply want your rage to grow even stronger. That way it will be even tastier." Understanding the reason, Cyan felt a little uneasy and smiled. "Right, that is just like you." A short while later, the steady footsteps of Luger echoed through the hall. He came before the door of Ashel's room and waited. After a few seconds, the man gave an order, "Come in." As soon as Luger stepped in, he bowed his head and reported, I have carried out your order and confirmed the location of the second young lady. Still calmly reading a book, Ashel gently asked, "Where is she?" He quickly responded, "It has been confirmed that the young lady is in the north of the continent in the land of the white spirits Pruana." Upon hearing the answer, he still smiled indifferently and remarked, "Pruana, so the girl is living together with a race that despises outsiders. That also shows how great her charm is." Then, with a calculating expression, he gave Luger an order. "If there are signs she will return to the Empire, report to me." He responded briefly, "Understood." Then, mustering courage, he asked Ashel, "May I ask, has something happened that makes you so cheerful?" The man glanced at Luger with interest and asked back, "Why do you think that?" He did not hesitate and stated his guess directly, "Because you look far happier than usual. Was the meeting with your younger brother that amusing?" Hearing this, Ashel laughed. "Amusing? I see. That is indeed one way to interpret it." Immediately after, he changed his expression and looked at Luger with frightening eyes. "But you are wrong. Right now my mood is very bad." Feeling the oppressive air from Ashel, he fearfully begged for forgiveness. "Forgive me for failing to perceive your mood." He recalled the eyes of Cyan full of killing intent, those eyes. With some irritation he brooded for a few minutes. It was as if he had met an enemy. Did I misunderstand? Unable to figure it out, Ashel could only draw an irritated conclusion. Indeed, there are many things to worry about concerning that boy. I must observe him carefully so that he does not go astray. He understood and quickly added, then withdrew. "Yes, I will assign people to watch the young master. Then I will take my leave." After Luger left, in his mind still lingered the image of Cyan's bloodthirsty smile. That image made Ashel unable to help feeling some concern. Cyan Vert, just what is my dear younger brother hiding? The horse carriage escort stopped in front of a tall building. Emily suddenly frowned and said loudly, "Hey, young master, how can you do that?" Cyan inside the carriage looked at her outside and replied indifferently, "I am helpless and cannot do anything. Do you think I want this? But the academy does not allow bringing more servants there, so I have no choice." Emily did not accept, struggling and whining. "You already knew, so why did you not tell me, young master?" Waiting until the end to say it, "How can I accept that?" Cyan stretched his hand out of the window, waved, and instructed, "All right, just like that, you stay in the family, do not cause trouble, okay? Later we will think about it." She folded her arms, turned her face away, and replied, "All right, young master, you just rest assured. What I am not assured of is about you. At the academy, do not cause trouble." He glanced and smiled. "Of course I am not a child. All right, let's go, everyone." The carriages began to move. Emily still called after reminding, "Young master, remember, do not forget." Really heartless, just said it, then left right away. She was emotional, shouting with tears in her eyes, "Everything at the academy, remember to be careful, young master. Do not cause trouble or let anyone oppress you. If so, then tell me." When he had gone a distance on the other side of the building, her voice could still be heard calling, "You must study well, then return to the family." Cyan thought to himself, thank goodness she accepted to stay in the family, otherwise it would be troublesome. Suddenly childhood memories came back. When I was 8 years old, that day it rained and I had a very high fever, unconscious, not knowing what was around me. In the family no one cared for me at all. Even though it rained heavily with storm, fortunately there was Emily. She carried me on her back all night, running everywhere in the city, knocking on every doctor's door. At that time she panicked, shouting in the rain, "Is anyone home? Please open the door and save my young master." Fortunately a doctor out of kindness opened the door and received the two. "All right, come in quickly. Bring the boy here." He always remembered clearly, if at that time without her, then perhaps I would have died alone in a room without anyone knowing. Thinking so, Cyan immediately stuck his head out, turned back with a bright smile, and said loudly to Emily, "All right, do not worry. I promise I will find a way to bring you to the academy in the family. Do not think too much. I will write letters to you." He told himself, because of those feelings, therefore, I absolutely do not see Emily as a maid, but as my own family. She was happy and waved back. "All right, young master, rest assured, I will obediently stay here waiting for your good news." He sat back in the carriage, softly replying. After that, his gaze suddenly changed. Cyan muttered, Now one matter is done, but thinking it is quite strange, why does the family send as many as 6 knights to bring me to the academy? Although I am the duke's son in the family, I have no status, so why such an escort? Then, this trip to the academy will be quite complicated. There are many things I cannot predict. However, it is also worth looking forward to. The carriages traveled a whole long day. The sky was gradually turning to sunset. The knights carefully observed the current surroundings. At this time, Cyan, lying in the carriage, had also been awakened. A soldier came forward bowing to report. "It seems tonight we will camp here, young master," he called out. "All right, if everyone is tired, then rest here. How far have we gone from the family?" The soldier reported in detail. "At present we have already traveled a long distance, young master. In fact, we have nearly reached the center of Saffron territory. Estimating tomorrow afternoon, we will arrive at the city in that territory." Hearing this, Cyan calmly ordered, "All right, do just that, everyone rest and regain strength. If anything happens, then report to me." The soldier obeyed, replying, "Yes, we understand." Immediately after that, his expression became alert, thinking, "Lying again. As I know, near Saffron territory there is no forest at all. They think I am still young and have never been here, so they think they fooled me. It seems they have already headed slightly outside the border. That is why there are many dense forests like this. I do not understand why they brought me to this gloomy forest. Then thought of setting up camp. What is their purpose here?" Right at that moment, the voice of a soldier rose up. "Young master, the camp has been set up. The fire has also been lit. Young master may get off the carriage now." Cyan stepped down, each step making a hum sound. He glanced around on purpose and said, "Here in this forest it really is quiet, and the air is spacious, is it not? But why do you surround my carriage like this? I do not understand who sent you to take me like this." Brian also cautiously looked at those knights. Everyone fell into a strange atmosphere. Suddenly one of them showed a frightening smile. Cyan was slightly surprised. "They laughed," he asked coldly. "I ask you, who is the one behind ordering you to do this?" Dennis held the hilt of his sword and replied, "Young master is perceptive, but one about to die like you does not need to know this." The other knights also began to move. "No matter how you ask, we do not care. Our job is to follow orders from above. Whether we want to or not, we cannot decide anything." He rambled on. "With the honor of a knight, we promise not to let you die painfully, but will send you to the other world as quickly as possible. If you have any questions, then go to the other world and ask. All you need to do now is stand still without thinking. Everything will be quick." "All right, enough talk. Now farewell, young master." Just as the sharp sword slashed down, Cyan quickly leaned to dodge. Right after that, a head flew into the air with drops of blood scattering. The space became silent. The knights froze, staring at the head that had just fallen to the ground. It was the head of Dennis, who left without closing his eyes. His sword was covered with a mysterious power. A dark voice rose up. "So now one of you is already dead. Now you should be afraid and answer my question." All of the knights immediately turned pale with fear. No one dared to utter a sound, sensing a reincarnation ahead. Cyan's face was terrifying, like a demon from hell, ready to send off anyone tired of living. No one said anything. What? Too afraid, so all mute? If you keep silent like that, then the only end is death. Even Brian was astonished, his heart restless continuously, unable to believe a young boy could act so decisive and strong. Suddenly one of them unexpectedly rushed to attack from behind. But immediately he was struck by a sword strike as fast as lightning, his body thrown out. Blood began to spurt, drops of tears rising. Next, sword strikes continuously slashed the others. One of them intended to run away, but he had already noticed. Suddenly his body froze, his mouth cried out in pain. As his body fell down, everyone realized he had been struck by a knife thrown straight into his back. Tears suddenly flowed down Brian's face uncontrollably. The scene before his eyes was too horrifying, impossible. This kid is only 11 years old, but how can he be so strong and cold-blooded? He is like this. No wonder in the battle at the battlefield he was able to survive after being taken by that dragon to the demon territory. This mission will probably fail already. We were too subjective, not thinking that he would be this terrifying. His eyes were glowing red. Just looking was enough to make the opponent terrified. He raised his face to the sky, his three views completely overturned. From the beginning everything had not gone smoothly as I had thought. Suddenly Cyan unexpectedly appeared, making Brian panic and fall down to the ground. You stop right there. He carried the sword on his shoulder, glaring a warning. Will you speak or not? He completely surrendered and hurriedly confessed everything. Young master, this matter was ordered by the Duchess. Madame Margaret ordered us to take you into the forest, then quietly assassinate you. The information obtained so easily made him a bit surprised, thinking, this guy really is cowardly. But that is normal, his comrades are all dead. If he does not confess, then he will follow them soon anyway. Brian cried non-stop. Tears flowed like a broken water tap. A while later, the carriage continued to move. This time Brian took the turn to drive. As he drove he reported, according to what I know recently rumors in the family have spread a lot. I do not know if you have heard. Young Master Regressed, after being too frightened of you, requested Madame Margaret to do something. As I guess this action of Madame is exactly following the request of young Master Regressed, who asked her to do this in order to eliminate a future threat to young Master Regressed. Hearing this, he immediately understood everything. Alright, so it was that guy. No wonder after that test he kept running away from me like avoiding a plague. Next time when I return to the family and meet him, I will continue to punish him thoroughly. Suddenly Brian softly called, Young Master. What about me? How do you intend to deal with me? I beg you to spare my life. I have already told you everything. Everything I did was only because of orders from above. Cyan glanced probing. You seem to have lost all will, but at least you still cling to life. Brian's back bent down, all vitality became weak. Anyway, it will be difficult for me to return to the family when the mission has failed. Now whether you cut or kill me, I can only accept it. What else can I do? The attempt to assassinate young master, although I followed orders from above, but anyway this is my fault. Seeing that, he temporarily spared him. Alright, leave that matter for later. Now I need a servant. You keep driving. Whether you live or die, we will talk later. What you did I already know. Later I will see your attitude, then decide. Seeing you so cowardly, I do not understand how you became a knight. But at least you drive the carriage quite well. Brian was extremely grateful. Tears welled up again. Thank you for not killing me, young master. Suddenly his eyes turned forward, reminding, it seems we have arrived. The central city Saffron. The vase was smashed hard and shattered into pieces along with a shrill scream. What the hell, has it failed already? All the knights are dead. How could it be? There is still one more person not yet found, and that brat has also disappeared. Louis at this moment could only be honest before the opponent's anger. Yes, that is true. Young Master Cyan reached the central city of Saffron last week. Margaret could not hide her indifference to what she heard. So those 7 bodyguards tried to assassinate a brat, but failed. Then how can this be trusted? This is truly beyond my imagination. He respectfully replied, we seem to have underestimated young Master Cyan. He is still young, but his strength is really too great. She immediately put all the blame on Louis. It was you who told me to do that. That brat is just a kid, how could he be so strong? There were already 7 knights following him. He at this moment could only try to calm Margaret. This matter is also the fault of your subordinate. But according to my guess, it may be that some force has helped the young master. I hope Madam will give me one more chance. This time I will not be careless like that again. At the academy the action will surely succeed. Hearing those words from him only made her angrier. Enough already. If we try again and fail, then things will go out of control. He may be forced into a corner and do things unimaginable to me and young Master Regressed. Recalling those savage words from Cyan made the fear in Margaret rise even higher. Madam, if you want to touch me, then be careful of yourself and your child. The things I will do you cannot imagine. Thinking carefully, she dared not act rashly anymore. Let this matter end here. Do not make it bigger, or it will be troublesome. Louis quickly replied, yes, madam, I understand. She also instructed, furthermore, this news must not be allowed to spread to anyone, understand? This is a very serious matter, therefore the people involved in this must be dealt with quietly. He followed the order. Yes, madam. Luger at this moment could not help but doubt the shady actions of Louis and Margaret and continuously observed every move. A few days after leaving the central city of Saffron, Cyan was resting on a warm bed thinking back on what had just happened. Brian, he was still loyal as the coachman and attendant. The Duchess surely had guessed part of the story after seeing the corpses of those knights in the forest. Of course her next move I still cannot predict, but what I need to do is just head to the academy. Next, when I get there, I will see how things go. But perhaps after this failed assassination she will have to really consider every action against me. Lost in thought, suddenly Brian's voice came. Young master, we have reached the next city. He opened his eyes, glanced at him, and said wearily, all right, this prosperous, bustling city reminds me of many things in the past. In front of Cyan was the image of a city full of golden sunlight with flocks of birds circling, creating such a beautiful scene. Seeing the place where he had gone through unpleasant memories, he thought, with the memories of the previous life that had caused me much suffering here. But in this academy many events had changed my life in a more positive way. After arriving at the appointed place, he presented the family crest. I, Cyan, member of the Vert family, have come according to the scheduled appointment. Seeing him appear here, the people of the Royal Academy were astonished and could not believe their eyes. Lamia immediately stood up and hurriedly greeted. Yes, young master, everything has been arranged properly. Please follow me. Now what you need to do is go to the dormitory to register. Rest there for now. After a few days, there will be the opening ceremony and entrance examination for all students enrolling in the academy this time. Cyan was a little doubtful but thought to himself, so it is fine, just wait and it will be done. The academy staff gave him a letter and a room key to arrange his belongings. He could not help but be surprised. Oh, are these the things I receive at this academy? Suddenly, the loud sound from the suitcase seemed to pull the two back to reality. Brian, at this moment, with wide eyes and open mouth, could not believe it. Oh my God, young master, this room looks way too luxurious. Cyan also could not help but be astonished because the dormitory room was like a villa. Is this a room for royalty to stay in? What kind of dormitory is this? Before, no member enrolling at the academy had ever been allowed to temporarily stay in a royal room like this, not even that bastard eldest brother of mine. Surely someone is behind this. He turned back to look at Brian with a questioning attitude. All my luggage you already brought up here, right? He quickly replied, yes, everything has been brought, young master, please rest assured. Cyan at this moment, while rummaging in his coat pocket, said, all right, finally I can feel at ease to enroll now. Everything is just waiting for the entrance exam. Therefore thank you, Brian, very much, but your journey ends here. Seeing his attitude as if intending to assassinate him, Brian hurriedly begged for his life. Young master, please do not kill me. Before he could finish speaking, in his hands was already a bag full of money. Brian could not help but be surprised and could only utter, oh, what is this? Cyan waved his hand toward him and said, that is your wage, take that money and run away, do not ever return to the family. With that money you can safely live another life. Listen to me, do not approach the family territory again. If the madam finds you still alive, then you are certainly dead. You understand what I am saying, right? Hearing those words of concern from the bottom of his heart, he stood silently for a long time. Brian then knelt down and said in a pleading voice, subordinate Brian Kenrick, a knight who has been knighted. Now, thanks to the young master's sparing me, I can live until today. I beg, young master, if you have shown mercy, then please show it to the end. Please let your subordinate serve the young master. Even in the future, no matter what hardship comes, young master may command me. Even if I die, I will not refuse. Before he could finish, Cyan poured cold water on him. Nice words, but what knight are you? Your strength is still too weak. He then tried to explain to stay. Yes, a knight indeed, but because I still lack experience and my level is low, therefore, I only do lower work compared to other knights. But in my heart I always remember my father's words. If in the future I meet a master who truly treats me sincerely, someone I can trust, then I must determine with all my heart to follow him, even if I die without regret. This loyalty of mine is now for young master. I beg you please allow your subordinate to serve you. Cyan coldly and emotionlessly refuted. You think I truly believe that? It seems you still lack enough experience, Brian. This action of yours requires more thought. He raised his head with a confused face. What? Cyan looked at him with murderous eyes and threatened. You think following me will give you what you desire? If in the future I lead you to death, will you resent me? Brian at this moment was flustered, but still determined not to leave. Young master, I have already pledged loyalty to you, then no matter what happens in the future, I will not regret. Hearing this, Cyan seemed to understand his mind, so he gently patted his shoulder. All right, I understand. You stay there and keep watch of the situation in the main hall. If there is any problem at the academy, then report to me. As for the opening ceremony, I have no interest at all. Perhaps I will only appear when it is time for the entrance examination. Brian seemed not yet recovered and could only obey. Yes, subordinate has understood already. His eyes followed Cyan leaving the room with a bewildered face, still thinking he was about to be dismissed. At this moment in the office of the academy principal, Kunnel was confiding with Sirika. Truly a quality entrance exam. I could not imagine this time there would be so many talented students from across the empire joining the academy. Hopefully the future of the empire will be bright thanks to this young generation. The image of the boys and girls studying attentively further proved that Kunnel's words had a basis. At this moment appeared the image of a female student using her magic right in the middle of class. Aaron Severus, 2-ring magic, magic power level B, holy body aptitude 52, light element. Beside that there was also another one, Seth Sheharkin, 3-ring magic, magic power level A, holy body aptitude 53, earth element. Through the overall situation, the old man gave his general assessment. At a glance, these two indeed have extraordinary aptitude, but there is also one student quite special. Cyan Vert, this boy. 1-ring magic, magic power level S, holy body aptitude 92, dark magic. Sirika at this moment also nodded, acknowledging his ability. Truly unexpected that he has such extraordinary aptitude. The top student graduating from our academy before was Ellis Vert, one with talent and intellect beyond others, called a sage in youth. At graduation his holy body aptitude only reached 88%. The old man also continued, indeed this family always produces talents different from others. Once thought that after Ellis it would be hard to find someone like him, but now a new talent has appeared. The younger brother of that girl truly is a genius needing attention and training. However, to ensure safety she also voiced caution. Yet there is something to note in this boy, his aptitude is of the dark system. Kunnel also agreed. Indeed, with this aptitude his strength and agility are beyond doubt, but if he cannot master this dark power, then later he may walk the path of evil. The research file about Cyan together with other students had been carefully examined. Then the old man turned to ask Sirika, "Do you know why this boy so young was sent to our Royal Academy?" She did not hesitate to share. Yes, this matter has many rumors, but as far as I know then. Before she could finish speaking, Kunnel had already spoken about the reason making her astonished. He was sent to this academy by the Emperor. After the campaign at the border with the demon race, the Emperor had already confirmed his power. Furthermore, he had saved the princess from the monsters. Therefore, the Emperor considered it as finding a destined match for his little princess. He cared greatly about that boy. From this, it can be seen that in the future, if the 5th princess, who was believed to have no ability to compete for succession, who was always thought to have no talent, becomes betrothed to a rare genius of the Vert ducal family, this matter will lead to what unpredictable changes in the future for the princess as well as for our empire. Sirika, after hearing, could not help but shiver before the dangers ahead. Yes, it is extremely simple and clear from a princess without real power, always considered the weak side in the struggle for succession, now becoming a newly rising force. The battle for the throne will be even more fierce. This may cause our empire to fall into endless wars. The people and soldiers will have to shed blood without end. Kunnel, though knowing the result beforehand, was still helpless because that was the order of the Emperor. Since things have reached this point, we can only know like that this is the decision of the Emperor, we cannot interfere. Everything in the future we cannot predict. What we can do is only observe the situation. Let time prove and answer whether this boy can join with the princess to form a new power or will perish in this cruel struggle for the throne. At this moment, back to the image of the student Cyan walking along the corridor deep in thought. 92%. Truly unexpected it has increased so much in the previous life. After the entrance exam, I only had about holy body aptitude of 80%, but now it is much different already. Surely the increase of this aptitude is because I drank too much monster blood, therefore the body has been improved and enhanced much more. But, just about to speak, he encountered someone and stopped. Grants, as soon as he saw Cyan, quickly stepped back 80 meters and shouted loudly, "What the hell?" Seeing his expression, Cyan could guess somewhat. This bastard must be thinking I already died in the forest, that is why he is so shocked. A friend of his suddenly asked, "Is it this kid? In your family you treated him as a servant and gave him many lessons in sword competitions, right?" Grants turned and affirmed, "Ah right, that brat is my younger brother, he is a weakling named Cyan." Thinking Cyan was easy to bully, he spoke with arrogance. "Brat, you seem to have just entered the academy, so many things you still do not know, right? I heard you do not even know who your mother is, correct?" At this moment Cyan saw clearly the face of that friend and immediately recognized. This fat one is the son of Marquis Fenelon of Graham Duchy, Pop Fenelon. That bastard in my previous life truly was my nightmare. He and that wretched brother never stopped tormenting me during the time I studied at this academy. Truly amusing to meet both bastards here at the same time. Cyan's eyes became cold and full of killing intent, as if wanting to devour the two in front of him. Seeing his terrifying look, Pop seemed not at all concerned. "It seems this brat is new to the academy. I need to give him a little lesson so that he may be a bit more obedient." Meanwhile, Grants was already scared to death. "Hey Pop, wait, he may be weak, but you need to be careful." He did not bother to listen to the advice and rushed forward. "All right, do not be afraid, since we have met here, then we should get acquainted a little." He at this moment was both bewildered and frightened by this situation. "I think we should go. Anything, tell him later. It is already meal time." Pop, before he could make a move, was kicked by Cyan with destructive force to the extreme. Grants at this moment could not even cry out, continuously screaming, "No Pop." Cyan Vert put his hand into his pocket and calmly suggested, "We talk a little, don't we, Vert?" Barrett Lewismill saw his friend just got punched unconscious and was endlessly terrified. "What is it? I don't need to know what you are plotting." Suddenly he stepped forward and touched the guy's shoulder, making Barrett sweat in fear. Then Cyan slowly emphasized each word. "I don't need to know what you are plotting. But I am very merciful, you already saw that. But if you dare to touch me one more time, you will not graduate intact with a full spine connected together." That threat successfully made the guy extremely terrified. Then he left with a pleased smile. It seemed from now on his life at the academy would be very interesting. Returning to the library hall, Sirika Negriti was walking along the corridor. That look seemed somewhat thoughtful. The large glasses at that time already covered her calculating expression. Whether he would be a disaster or a hero in the future, I should keep an eye on that student named Cyan. Sirika stepped up the stairs, then stopped. It seemed like the book she needed had disappeared. Sirika could not help but be a little doubtful. "It is not here." "But since when did Cyan already hold that book in his hand? Are you looking for this?" Hearing his voice, she immediately changed 180 degrees and acted friendly. "How could you get in here? This is a forbidden area. I could not feel your presence." Then Sirika asked again, as if to confirm, "Your name is Cyan, right? Can you give me that book back? I need that material for research." But strangely, he immediately agreed. "Of course I have to give it back to you." She also quickly grabbed the book. "Thank you, Cyan." But right after that, something black swept past his face. The document was also torn in half. Cyan kept his distance, as if he had already known everything, and calmly questioned her. "Were you not looking for it, Lecturer Sirika?" "No." Then Cyan exposed her true identity. The head of the Assassin Guild, Mist Sirika Negriti, Someone like her was also stunned before his sharpness. "Kid, who are you? How did you find this?" Cyan remembered, in the previous life, his first impression of lecturer Sirika was quite ordinary. She kindly asked about his situation. "How was your life at the academy?" But Cyan just bowed his head and said nothing. But that did not discourage her. Sirika still tried to talk. "I know you want to quickly end this boring conversation, but face-to-face interaction is very important for a student's development." But at that time Cyan only felt disgusted, expecting development from me, when all I received was bullying from that bastard brother. "I don't care." Everything at the academy then was like a joke. Suddenly she said words that made him pause a little. "Actually, I am quite interested in you, Cyan. An abnormal amount of dark element at 84% is quite rare, but they say that is an element with no characteristic. That is because there are many aspects that humanity still does not fully understand about the dark element. On the contrary, I think your development potential is limitless." At that moment Cyan was persuaded. I had been enlightened with many intertwined emotions. In the end, Sirika only gave him her blessing with an extremely sincere attitude. "I wish you will achieve success in the future, Cyan," and the knowledge just heard sparked in him a thought. If she understood the dark attribute like that, could she guide me? Returning to reality, Cyan had firmly denied the thought back then. I was mistaken like that at that time, yet I was deceived. Never let the smiling, friendly face behind those glasses fool you. The lecturer of the Royal Academy is only her cover. Her true identity is an assassin. She is one of the leaders of the Assassin's Guild, Mist, blending into the academy where many children of the continent's nobles gather here. So Cyan had known that the real Sirika in the Mist Guild was a formidable being. However, after being exposed, she was not panicked, but instead opened her mouth to praise. "Good. You will hear more details about this in the laboratory. Before going, clean up all that messy pile of books. Follow me." This indifferent attitude made Cyan secretly wonder, before what I said, how could she be so calm? Going into the laboratory, he only briefly commented, "This place is still the same." The room was filled with bottles and rather strange objects. Cyan leisurely drank a cup of hot tea. After taking a sip, he then pretended with a smile and asked Sirika, "Did you poison the tea? No wonder you were indifferent." She also responded to that attitude with a bright smile. But her words were chilling. "You won't die, so don't worry. Probably just enough to melt some of your internal organs." Yet those words still did not frighten Cyan. "But that thing has no effect, because I have already tried drinking with the blood of countless demons and poisons created by Emily." Then Cyan suddenly used a cold attitude and sarcastically hoped, "Next time you will increase the dosage." Sirika was not one to be outdone and replied, "Fine, then, shall we start talking, the two of us?" Finally, the two also came to the main matter. She wondered and spoke first. "How did you know my identity? Moreover, you even knew the exact location of the directive of the Mist organization placed among the little-known books in the library?" Sirika asked while thinking with interest. "Or do you want to speak first to me?" She seemed to have been certain with her assumption, yet still asked again to confirm. "You are also a part of the Mist Guild." "Indeed," Cyan admitted. "What more do I have to prove?" This arrogant attitude really angered Sirika. "Thinking your dark element value is high and bragging, huh, kid?" But Cyan did not care and told of an event. "On the way to Shatran, everyone asked me, 'Is it really fine when I only brought one knight with me?' Even though throughout the journey he was only the coachman. I heard recently the children of nobles enrolling kept collapsing dead on the way." He once again changed his attitude at astonishing speed. "Since when did the purification process take place?" She muttered the phrase again, "purification process." Suddenly Sirika erupted with immense power and denied, "I don't understand what you are talking about." Cyan was no less and also revealed a great energy. "Usually, isn't that matter related to the Mist Assassination Organization?" Sirika continued to act dangerously and gave a warning. "You will regret the words you just spat out." But it still had no effect on Cyan. "Are you threatening a student?" Seeing words had no effect, so she raised her leg and launched a kick. Immediately the table shot forward as if rushing toward him. Cyan raised his hand to block while continuing the conversation. So you intend to play this way, huh? Very quickly the table rushing at him was punched by him and broken in half. Cyan followed her actions with some confusion. I thought I had already proven my identity. Yet Sirica above was attacking while secretly denying his identity. Even if you really are a mist. But as one of the leaders of the organization, I know most of the faces of all the other mist. Cyan leapt back and quickly dodged that deadly strike. But Sirica, like a madwoman, kept charging in to attack. You won't escape, little boy. Cornered like this, he also began to fight back. No choice left. Cyan blocked her strike. The moment the two weapons clashed, it created an ear-piercing screech. This time it was him who lunged forward to attack. If you don't believe, then I will have to prove it. Cyan's blows kept landing on her vital points. Sirica only then realized, wait. But Cyan did not stop and put all his strength, unleashing a heavy strike that sent her flying meters away. This astonishing power made Sirica deeply suspicious. That sword, could it be? A weapon that can only be used by one chosen by Eru, the demon sword Karam. Seeing that this woman finally came to her senses, he finally stopped. At last you have acknowledged me. Then Cyan continued to reveal more secrets within the organization. Right now, the organization is also searching for the successor of their power. Isn't that so? These words quickly made Sirica doubtful. How did you? But Cyan still calmly proposed, look, the successor you are searching for is right here. Take me to Eru. Around one large villa, there were gloomy street corners, an arbitrary road in Lewin. The magical moonlight slowly illuminated each eve. At the same time, one hand quickly created a magic circle on the tightly locked door. The owner of that action was none other than Sirica. In an instant, the door had been blown open by her. Her cold voice slowly rose. I'm not surprised that the base of the Mist Assassin organization is located in a place like this. This is the entrance to the chapel I want to go to. From now on, I will have to walk alone by myself. Not long after, one lone Cyan bravely stepped inside. At this moment he kept pondering, this place is an independent space created by the power of the Calamity God. Therefore, it is much larger than it appears from the outside. Moreover, 2 throwing blades at 4 o'clock, 3 throwing blades at 11 o'clock attacked together. I knew beforehand it would not be normal, but didn't expect it to go this far. Isn't it a bit too much? In this place, in the blink of an eye, the Mist's assassins appeared. They moved continuously at an astonishing speed. At this time, Cyan had to resist countless attacks from the opponents. Suddenly, his sharp sword point aimed straight at the Mist assassin's face. However, he also used his nimble body to fight back. Witnessing the scene before him, Cyan unconsciously grew suspicious. He blocked his knife in that short moment. Amazing. Suddenly, the system transmitted with an announcement, offensive secret art. The sign of death. Offensive secret art. The Mist's assassins were astonished. That secret art, impossible. A kid like him could use that secret art. Blood tide. In an instant Cyan dyed this place bright red. He stood there with a distressed look and said, Blood tide, that is a high-level secret art of the top assassins in the organization, allowing the user to transform bloodthirst into physical strikes. Moments later, the opponent painfully grabbed his throat and screamed, I cannot breathe. Faced with this scene, Cyan calmly guessed, they will be unconscious for quite a long time. Still, one not yet defeated, is he a superior assassin? At this moment, his lips slightly trembled. Calamity sword, the immovable roots of the great tree. In an instant, the Mist assassin quickly lunged forward. This action made Cyan extremely surprised. He unconsciously countered with a stream of thoughts flashing in his mind. Can he cause an effect that interrupts my technique? Who is he? Suddenly, the opponent's mask fell off, along with a gentle voice sounding, It seems you have mastered assassin skills, huh? Then I will no longer go easy. Cyan vert. The words Soraka uttered stunned Cyan. Now she continued in an excited tone, Eletter Serica, show me your true strength. Suddenly an announcement sounded, dense mist 8th awakening, consecutive slashes. The dark room was quickly covered by sharp cutting lines. Serica's long hair suddenly slipped down. However, she smiled complacently and began to praise. You have mastered dense mist and the calamity sword, huh? You make me more and more interested. Show me how great your potential is, Sai, fighting spirit. Faced with the opponent's provocation, Cyan gritted his teeth in anger. That is what affects Sarika causing, and a letter immersed in the desire to fight. She will want to fight to the death with an opponent. Anyone who has fought her will understand, hence I need to escape immediately. Seeing his current terrified appearance, Sarika kept raising her voice. Turn back here, Cyan Vert. Refusing offered wine, do you want to drink penalty wine? Immediately after she performed a new martial art, Calamity Sword, Stormy Mist. At this time Cyan was extremely alert. He silently said, I do not have a perverse desire to fight like you. However, the opponent continued to taunt. This space was created by Eru. Outside will not detect your aura, so no need to worry. Hearing these words, he calmed down somewhat. Right, I can unleash full power here. I also have the strength to kill her, but... Suddenly Cyan realized something unusual. In an instant he collapsed to Sarika's astonishment. Suddenly a black smoke appeared. Along with it a cold voice resounded. I know already. You can rest now. This strange sound made her exclaim in surprise. You are? Seeing the opponent curious, Karam quickly replied. I don't want to talk much. You know who I am, don't you? By now Sarika was kneeling on the ground with a cautious voice. Yes, you are Demon Sword Karam. Immediately after she inquired. What is the current situation? You also worship Eru, but now you attack my master. Facing Karam's wrath, she cleverly said, I just wanted to test whether he was as strong as the rumors said, to see if he really is the chosen one. Nevertheless, the opponent still burst into fury and shouted loudly, Then why didn't you call your master out from the start? Since you deliberately did this, I will take it as a challenge. Witnessing Karam's anger, she now calmly said, I think we should care about that boy first. These words startled the opponent. What? Hey, why do you look like you are dying? Seeing the opponent surprised, Sarika casually spoke, You have appeared in true form, but then it will have a side effect. It will erode the host's life. Suddenly Karam grabbed Cyan's collar and pulled him up. She furiously shouted, Hey, how much of an effect could this have? You just drank a bunch of beast blood. Suddenly Sarika beside interrupted. I, a letter Sarika Negraith of the Mist Assassin Organization, never refuse any duel. Furthermore, if you are my opponent, I cannot refuse even more. Her words made Karam inevitably speculate. What the hell is wrong with her? I actually feel a little scared. At this moment Cyan had begun to resist. Let me go. She was extremely surprised at his action and blurted out, You are still alive. Immediately after Cyan quickly asked back, Why did you suddenly manifest? However, the opponent only coldly ordered, You step back. Let me teach that bitch a lesson. Her expression aroused Sarika's interest. It is truly an honor to fight you, Miss Karam. At this moment Karam only cleared her throat to remind, Don't cry and beg after being beaten by me. Nevertheless, the opponent still showed no fear. I also hope you can push me to that point. This scene made Cyan lose patience. Enough already, suddenly Sarika said, Lord Eru. A spatial vortex quickly appeared in front of Karam. Even Cyan witnessing it could not hide his astonishment. He unconsciously had speculations, Take the chosen one to the chapel. Immediately Sarika swiftly replied, Yes, my lord. At this moment he calmly flashed a delighted smile. Finally, I can meet Eru, Lord of Darkness. Everyone all say that Dark Mist God is very evil. Dark Mist God kills people without hesitation, and justifies that it is an action for the benefit of others. He answered that Eru showed mysterious appearance and emitted dark aura around the body. That is exactly the thing they want. Other people cannot decide right-wrong instead of you. If death can help you protect the principle of your own, then that is already enough. Everyone all says that this way of thinking is very crazy. But I want to say to them that this God only wants to protect the weak only. That is a foolish God. Cyan at this time immediately stepped into the space gate that he opened. The gate led him to a dark chapel with dozens of long endless stairs, and in front exactly was Eru. After a moment Cyan already arrived in front. He began to speak asking, Do you know who I am? He looked up calmly, replying, "Of course, dark mist god, Eru." Hearing that, he coldly looked at the opponent with red eyes, examining. "Your name is Cyan Vert, right? I have never met you ever. You have what proof that claim yourself is the heir of me?" Facing this question, Cyan also did not waver but calmly answered, "Surely you also already felt the power of mist inside me." Eru pondered for a while, saw he spoke also reasonable, so he began to release power onto the opponent. "There are two ways to become the heir. The first way is I myself give you the mist stone, and the second way is when the mist stone itself chooses the qualified person. I do not know who you are, so I assume this is the second situation. Indeed, the mist stone should be in the chapel, suddenly disappeared last year." A few seconds later, he opened wide eyes and murmured, "Above all, unexpected, you can awaken Karam. Even I still cannot find that girl anymore. You control that girl quite well." Hearing this mocking sentence, she fiercely angry, "Who controls who, huh?" At the same time, Eru returned to observe him, and those eyes, the light emitting from them, not fitting with the age of you at all. "So it is, you are an outsider coming from the timeline that I do not know." Hearing that, Cyan, somewhat surprised, thought secretly, "You do not know, huh? I thought you related to the matter I exist here." He, after hearing, immediately sighed, bored, and waved hand signaled, "If you want to meet a god all-powerful and knowing all things, then you came wrong place already. I am not strong at all. Qualification as god of me already was taken long ago." Witnessing the discouraged attitude of the opponent, he also only could sigh in heart. He said, "Right. Originally, I should not expect anything." Eru at this time again pondered, thinking something. But this is quite beneficial for me." Cyan frowned, confused, asking back, "You are saying what?" After a moment, he happily shrugged shoulders and leaned on chair. "A perfect heir already by himself came here. Now then, I less work to do already. I do not need to move one finger anymore." Both sides also silent, dissatisfied before lazy attitude of Eru. "You indeed still lazy like that?" After observing for a while, he narrowed eyes, already somewhat felt uneasy. "But hey, you already brought a thing quite troublesome here. Already have demon sword, but you still not satisfied, huh? You also intend to seize even the power of holy sword?" He curved mouth smiled when realized the meaning inside that question. "Ah, temporarily, then I still not intend do anything. I only think that if like the world not know the existence of this thing, then it can become useless." Suddenly saw the mocking and the calculating smile of Cyan. Eru slowly stood up. "Your hobby cruel indeed. Fine then, I will not ask any more, anyway also not related to me." He slowly stepped forward. "But I will obey the law. With status as supreme god of you, I will ask you this sentence. O heir already received the power of me. You will do what with this power?" He silent, secretly thought in head. In past life me also was asked similar sentence. At that time me already answered that I will live for elder brother. Indeed is a stupid answer. But they did not care about the answer in past life of me. Why like that, isn't it? I also have thing that myself desire. At that moment Eru only spoke one sentence, replying, "Remember, not have thing more dangerous than blind faith." Recalling the betrayal miserable before of me, Cyan thought secretly, perhaps Eru already knew beforehand the miserable ending of me. He stepped forward, still kept calm, replied, "I not have planned big any, for example like noble purpose or sacred belief anything." A few seconds later, Cyan looked at the strangeness of him and murmured, "This time it must be different." He gripped the power in his hand and affirmed, "I will only use your power for my personal purposes, only for myself." Hearing that, without thinking much, Eru pondered and stepped forward. "Right and wrong is for you to decide yourself. Are you confident that you will not regret it? You better answer very carefully, depending on your answer, and I can kill you right here." Instead of fear, Cyan was unshaken and calmly looked straight at the other and answered, "Whatever consequences my actions bring, I also do not care. I will not obey the orders of anyone. That is the path that I will walk." Faced with his resolute attitude, he nodded with some satisfaction. "It seems you already have a plan. Can you tell me?" Hearing that, Cyan frowned and replied bluntly, "No." Eru sulked angrily, but without thinking much. It's not important, as long as you will wash my name clean. Fine then, I will not ask you questions anymore, you are quite boring. He suddenly fell silent for a moment and looked away. Unexpectedly Eru then turned to Karam, looking as if he knew something interesting about his daughter. Then now I will converse with my daughter. You have changed quite a lot. Huh? Do you like your master that much? Good girl. She annoyed immediately flustered. What the hell are you saying? Eru did not mind that attitude. He puckered and innocently replied, seeing you like this makes me very happy. In stark contrast to that emotion, Karam screamed loudly, get away, stop. He tried to hug his daughter. I am trying to treat you well because I have nothing to give to your master. She stubbornly pushed her father away and shouted for help. That crazy old man, hey master, do something, stand still. Meanwhile he pretended not to hear and dodged to another place. Truly touching father-child affection. Karam seeing that angrily shouted, what? At the same time, Eru puckered to kiss his daughter. Suddenly something appeared before the two of them. Huh, what is happening? That red mist covered her whole body. In an instant it turned Karam into human form. When the mist vanished she was no longer in the half-floating orb shape. Karam was in utmost confusion. I have a body now? Even Cyan this time was startled. Sensing the strangeness, it also did not use its mana. Eru used his own power to create that body. Instead of joy, she grabbed him and angrily asked, what have you done to me? Eru replied with delight. It's not much, I just gave you a little of my vitality. What, you don't want it? You need to have a body to XXX your master. That answer made Karam go mad, shaking head of father her. You just said what? Stupid. He this moment also only no silly smile and turned to clap hands satisfied with him. Cyan saw that only can dissatisfied with situation this, indeed father like child. Next day dormitory student, a voice whispered into ear him, young master. What thing is happening? Cyan helpless whispered back. I also not know, you just ignore go. Before answer extremely indifferent of him, Brian worried rolled eyes looked, but young master. I not think this is thing myself can ignore be. Karam that time angry growled asked, oh my, new morning early that lecturer already come meet student then. Do you not think to thing others will begin gossip see relation of two people special to how degree huh? Along with that, Sirika this side also delighted mocked back. Of course then, I do that is to guide him to road right. This is one relation completely normal. She heard that began uncomfortable. A hall master like you not should careful more huh? Both this moment like two beasts cold blood growling fighting territory of each other. She amused cast eyes looked opponent. I do what then also related to you where self-care body yourself go. Stuck between two people this, Cyan also only no silent hear them scold each other. Master only need me only, you stay away him go, he is student of me. He suddenly stood up decided withdraw from mess chaotic this, I go walk little here. He this side had to despair stay back. Young master, you not leave me here with them but... Two people behind more and more excited. Hey bitch there draw a weapon out quickly, fight go. How can I refuse request this be? Right this moment, at side outside academy. Everyone is blending into each other creates scene bustling roadside. Seeing everything from above, Cyan breathed relieved. Finally then myself also can relax already. Suddenly a smell familiar wafted through nose him, have smell blood. At distance not far, a student was beaten badly fell rolling to ground. Leximus not hold back but coughed continuously. Though painful, but he still struggled sit up hugged arm his. Three people this side pointed talked delighted. Hey, we try use that go, damn it, you indeed, then act immediately for hot. What thing huh? The leader raised hand up created one orb blazing fire. Moments later, began step to gloating called. Hey, you look here. I bring little snack for you that, then Barrett decisively grabbed mouth opponent. Friend your bring snack self hand made for you. Then you will eat right, must not. Thought like self will not have road escape. Leximus terrified clenched jaw not remain strength to struggle. Right moment important, a voice suddenly cut across, stop hand again. Turns out Aaron already appeared witnessed whole scene this, You people again go do thing cruel to that with friend class, huh? You people not feel shame when self-call is noble, huh? Hearing that, the rough guy answered, I am Barrett Lewis Mill, eldest son of family Duke Lewis Mill in Kingdom Garum. You is who? Aaron leisurely stood looked and proudly answered, I am Princess of Empire Ushif, Aaron Severus. Right when Barrett was about to strike Leximus, a voice rang out, Stop your hand. A girl stood out to criticize that act of his, all our students the same. Why do such cruel things to each other? Don't you feel ashamed when calling yourself a noble? Hearing the voice, Barrett also turned head, gritting teeth, revealed identity of himself. By chance I am Barrett Lewis Mill, eldest son of Duke House Lewis Mill of Garum Kingdom. Who are you? Aaron also did not hesitate to let him know her identity. I am Princess of Ushif Empire, Aaron Severus. When knowing real identity of Aaron, Barrett again sneered sinister, mocking her. Ah, thought it was someone. But you are only 5th princess. Pleasure to meet. Aaron with face very determined to Barrett, I have feeling not wanting to shake your hand. Better you should explain this situation. Barrett hearing that smirked, explaining, Surely you are misunderstanding something here already. Should we ask him? Tell her. Leximus hearing that again very surprised. Huh? Barrett immediately came grabbing collar of him up roughly. He put arm around Leximus, threatening him to make him follow their words. Are we bullying you? No, they are not bullying me. Aaron seeing way they treated Leximus quickly reassured him. You don't need to hide, just by looking at you. Because Leximus was being restrained, so had to lie to her. It's fine, please go away. We are only joking with each other. Barrett, when hearing the answer that he wanted, immediately smirked, satisfied. Kiki, heard already, right? I begin to feel not satisfied now. At this moment Aaron could not endure any more. She stepped forward, proposing with Barrett, Whatever, but he will go with me. But her arm was grabbed in midair. Barrett approached with fierce face, questioned Aaron, Do you have problem understanding? Doing so, what is meaning of it? The two at this moment neither yielded, struggling with each other for a while. Did you not hear Leximus tell you to go? If you do not release my hand now, I swear on my name. Barrett, when hearing those words, he then burst laugh, mocking. Ha! You are nothing but a small weak child. Cyan, standing at side all this time, not speaking at this moment, again glanced at Barrett. With only one kick, he made Barrett fall flat. Whoa! Aaron, standing beside when witnessing that scene, also very astonished. See, Cyan. After finishing Barrett, Cyan then glanced down below in heart thought, Leximus. That girl is Leximus. At Garum Kingdom Klein Castle. Above the castle, two people were confronting each other. The sword of one slashed straight down towards Cyan. With only one slash it pushed Cyan back. The girl dueling with Cyan at this moment with face full of confidence. Continent number 1 swordsman, Leximus Klein. She was born in Ushif Empire. Looking at her in front of him in heart, Cyan also felt puzzled. But not knowing for what reason, after graduating academy, she again joined Count House Klein at Garum Kingdom, and even changed nationality. Very quickly two people again continued rushing into sword fight with each other. With only one slash, Leximus already lifted entire brick floor underground up. Witnessing this scene made Cyan more bewildered. Taking chance, Leximus dashed fast like rocket, rushing to attack Cyan. When she rushed to his place, then something strange happened. Right at this moment, Cyan like suddenly appeared behind back of Leximus. He thrust straight his blade into right behind back of her. Immediately she was pressed down to ground at this moment also cracked. With only one attack, Cyan already ended life of Leximus. Empire already gave order for me to kill her. I already received order to assassinate her. However, after infiltrating into castle, finally I decided upright duel with her. Reason also nothing special. I just did not want to sneakily assassinate a person who had reached peak of swordsmanship, though without mana, a person who had been awarded with title Continent number 1 swordsman. Returning to reality when witnessing that scene just now, Leximus, still not yet out of shock. Friend going beside of Barrett at this moment panicked, tried calling him. Hey, Barrett, wake up. Very quickly Barrett was trying to slowly get up. He sneered, move aside. Why are there so many bastards today who like to stick their noses into other people's business? You are Cyan Vert, right? I heard people talking about you. You returned from the front line, right? Do you want to join our little game? When he heard Barrett's offer, Cyan secretly laughed to himself. A game? Ridiculous. Using mana stones the wrong way can destroy the mana in the body. Cyan had already guessed the game Barrett wanted him to join. The game of forcing. Right after that he also created a purple sphere. Play then. When he saw that sphere, Barrett could not help but be shocked, eyes wide open. The sphere that Cyan created grew bigger and bigger. What are you doing? Cyan used his gaze to control Barrett's reason. Hurry and open your mouth. A new day began. Today the weather was especially fresh. Leximus by now had her wounds bandaged. She sat properly on the bed. The wounds on her body had almost all been healed, but she needed to lie in bed to rest and recover her inner injuries. Aaron stood in front of her and instructed. So rest for the whole day today. Thank you very much, sister. I don't know how I should repay you. Aaron still kept that proud face, her nose now lifted as she confidently declared, Did you see how those bastards tucked their tails and ran when our Cyan scared them off? Our Cyan, we only did what should be done, so there is nothing to worry about. Cyan, standing behind, had still not spoken, but in his heart he also sighed with admiration. Fractured bones and a mild concussion. Yet she endured. Really shocking. Must be the #1 swordswoman, so different indeed. Leximus now, with her face flushed, turned and asked him, could it be that you know me? I feel like you keep staring at me. Cyan casually answered Leximus as if nothing had happened. I thought I knew you, but I don't. Sorry if I made you uncomfortable. Hearing that answer from him, Leximus then felt downhearted. And it's nothing. As if remembering something, Aaron then stepped forward to ask her, where is your dormitory? What if those bastards come to bully you again, to take revenge or something? Leximus, with a worried face, revealed the address to her. See, Commoner's Hall. Hearing that address, she was also very surprised. Commoner's Hall? Are you a peasant? Leximus also explained the reason she lived here for the two to know. Yes, I was allowed to study thanks to trainer Veltane. He promised to give me money to go to school, but suddenly the academy expelled him. From what she said, Cyan also understood everything. In other words, no one here supports her. Yes, so there is a possibility she will have to drop out. Hearing that Leximus might have to quit, Aaron felt worried for her. Oh no, poor you. At this time Cyan came up with an idea and proposed to Aaron. Then why don't you take her as your maid, princess, and also learn swordsmanship from her? Hearing that, Aaron reached out her hand toward Leximus, questioning, What are you saying? Leximus is a boy. Cyan finally revealed her true identity, that she was a girl. Hearing Leximus's true gender made Aaron even more bewildered. Seeing her expression, Leximus quickly apologized to her. I didn't mean to deceive you, Your Highness. It's just that, having short hair and wearing boys' clothes is more comfortable. So many people mistake me for a boy. Aaron choked back tears, apologizing to her. No, I'm sorry, I didn't even notice. Even Cyan noticed. Maybe I'm no good at being a girl. No, you should be the one apologizing. Returning to the main matter, Aaron wanted Leximus's opinion. Anyway, what do you think? I think Cyan's idea is good. If you come under my wing, then bad people won't bully you anymore. You can learn anything you want, and have a comfortable life. Hearing this, Leximus was very hesitant. Why me? Aaron awkwardly explained. Well, actually, I don't like being alone much either. I also can't do anything because after all I'm a princess. Thank you. Leximus placed her hand on her chest and promised Aaron, I assure you I will become someone who can make you proud. Thank you very much. Aaron then turned to tease Cyan. No need to thank me. It's all thanks to Cyan. But somehow Cyan had already left. Cyan had left the castle, and in his heart he was relieved. I've done enough. I'm sure Princess Aaron will take care of the rest. But I understood why Leximus left the Ushif Empire. If it hadn't been for Louis Milbarrett, then she would never have lost her mana. The continent's #1 swordswoman who had never lost mana. Even I would find her hard to defeat. Anyway, now I'm interested in other matters. Walking along the road, Cyan recalled the morning's events. This morning I received an order from a letter Serica. That was my first extermination mission as an assassin of the Mist organization.